What's up, guys? Welcome back to another week of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with me, your host. Excited to have you back listening to me bullshit for the 66th week in a row. I'm pumped about it. Every week I drop an episode. I'm excited. It takes a lot to keep a podcast going. It's time out of my night. Time out of my week to do this podcast, and I'm proud whenever I drop episodes. So before we get to this week's guest, who is great, a few things I wanted to talk about. I always mention things that I'm watching. I feel that we all watch shit on Netflix or any streaming service for that matter, but I'm recently just diving into The Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale is a ridiculous show. It is a Hulu original, and I don't know if there's a way for me to explain anything about what it is without giving anything away, so I don't want to do that. But, if you're looking for a new show and you have Hulu, definitely check it out because it is intense. I don't know, I wouldn't classify it as like a horror show, but it's definitely like a thriller, psychological thriller, just super fucked up. But they have 2 seasons of it. I think there's 20 some episodes, and they're hour-long episodes, so it's a lot of shit to watch. But, some people get scared away because episodes are an hour long. What the fuck is the difference? But that show's insane. Absolutely insane. Another thing I wanted to go over, Mother's Day, I know, is around the corner. If we're fortunate enough, we have our mothers in our lives, and I love my mother very much, and I just want to, every year I kind of wait till the last minute to, get her a gift. And she listens to all these podcasts, so hey, sometimes it's last minute. Hey, at least I get you one. But a little forewarning for everyone out there. You got mothers, prepare for it. We're in the age of technology. Go on YouTube, or not YouTube, but go on Google. Send your mom some fucking flowers or something. My wife had surgery recently, and she... a couple people sent her things. Matt and Lauren from, Streets on Carson are, incredible people. They sent a beautiful bouquet. I wish I knew exactly where it came from, but I know where it is. It's a flower shop right on the corner of 11th on East Carson Street. I know the guy's name. His name is Cyril. He's a fantastic guy, but shout out to Matt and Lauren for that. I appreciate it. And one of my wife's friends sent Sherry's berries. If people don't know what those are, that's like a fucking chocolate-covered strawberry the size of a softball. And obviously, I might have had one or two. But, sending shit to people is nice. It's nice to get shit in the mail. It's nice to get shit in the mail if it's something cool. So take the time and prepare for your mother. But anyway, now, I'm telling everyone to prepare for their mother. Now I'm trying to get everyone to come to a yoga class on Mother's Day. Yoga Ralph's second drop-in is going to be Mother's Day, 2 p.m. at the Yoga Flow in Shadyside. Hot Vinyasa Yoga. It is the most insane you will feel in life. You're in this room that's 120 degrees. Maybe it's less, but that sounds like a right number. It sure in the hell feels like it. But you are in this room sweating every ounce of sin out of your body. I mean, you sweat from places you don't think you could sweat. I was sweating from my fucking chin. My earlobes were sweating. I swear to God, I was wiping my eyebrows every 2 minutes because it just felt like they were pouring out sweat. But, make no mistake, the hour and 15 minutes you're in this class, it's the most miserable you could be. And you ain't even doing nothing crazy. You're just bending over. But it's insane feeling. But it is absolutely worth the feeling you get when you walk outside into that normal temperatured air. You're in there for an hour and 20 minutes in 120 degree weather, and then you go out in the normal air and you feel like you're like a fucking god. You feel godlike. feel clean, like you got a clean slate in life. But I'm gonna try to get there. I know Mother's Day is people got shit to do, but if you want to sweat to death with me, come and do some yoga with me and Yoga Ralph. Again, May 12th, 2:00 at Shady Side. Definitely check that out. Follow him on Instagram at Yoga Ralph. But the reason everyone's here, I know I go through these intros, but fucking deal with it. I was excited to have this dude this week. Episode 66, my guest is Zed. Zed is, his real name is Zach Edgar. I don't know if he likes people knowing that or not, but I'm sorry if he doesn't. Zed is the owner of Zeds Vintage and Resale Shop. It is located on I always say it's located on Southside, but it's located in Southside. And if you don't know what Zeds is, you walk into there and you think of a nostalgic 90s bedroom. You got an N64, you got, just Nickelodeon shit, Space Jam shit, you got fucking pop culture. It's a store that you could go and find anything in. Vintage, you got everything from vintage Tommy Hilfiger and Polo and vintage Penguins gear and all teams for that matter, all the way up to V-Lone and Supreme and Yeezys and all this shit. And they have a little bit of everything. They got something for everyone down there. Awesome shop, 1931 East Carson Street. They buy shit from people. Like if you got some old dope gear, like Penguin shit, Supreme, anything vintage, anything that's like dope, go down there, see if they'll fuck with it. But I wanted to talk to him for a while. I've been trying to link up with him, but he's a busy man. He's been making moves in this last year. But Zed is a dude who grew up in Indiana County, up by IUP, and kind of had a wild trajectory. Went to school for business management, hopped out of there, didn't know what he wanted to do. Went to school to be a barber as kind of like a fallback, and kind of just navigated his way through this weird world and fell into like this awesome ass store. He owns this store and he runs it with his brother and a couple other employees down there, and it's like such a unique place. Everyone's so welcoming there. They even got a fucking dope ass shop dog. Shout out Frank White. But it's a really good vibe in there, and I wanted to know where the inspiration behind that came from. You walk in there and you see dope shit. Like if you recognize dope shit, they always say real recognizes real. People could do things very, very like fake and tacky, and it just like Zeds oozes authenticity. And it doesn't help that the people are great. I like people that are doing cool, unique shit, and I was happy to have him in the chair. So without further ado, episode 66 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with Zed.
Telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. Call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast.
He's like, whatever, you guys are twins. And we honestly just like, he was so into it at that point. We were just like,
so some people thought yinz were twins.
Yeah. And then Tony Duff, he's this dope photographer.
Yeah, I know who he is.
He was in the other day and he's like, bro, this fucking CFO came up to me. He was wearing a Champion Supreme bomber jacket.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, my son's shop, this place down the south side. He's like, I think it's called Two Brothers. Yo, I started geeking.
He was an older head that like fucked with all this shit.
He's like, my sons go down there, obviously I'll like probably, he's a CFO. His kids are probably hype beasts with the classic. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean like.
Yeah, we had people coming into Threads. There was this dude, his name was like Howie.
Howie, yo.
You know him?
Dude, oh, he is so funny, though.
Bro, Howie would come in and he would just be like, I want, just get me whatever in an extra large.
Dude,
and
he's
then
the
he would
most-
try it on. He'd be like, I don't like how this one fits. Like, he didn't give a fuck about money.
He loves bomber jackets.
Yeah, he don't give a fuck about money. It's just he wants it to fit right.
Yeah, dude, he came in with, I don't know what, I was like, dude, is your son in the league? He came with like all these heaters of like size 15.
Yeah.
He's like, these are my sons, like bread ones and like Chicago ones.
Yeah, his son is big as
He's
fuck.
like, just give me store credit. It was like $800. I was like, you sure? And he just like slowly pulls up on his bike, like comes
dude,
in.
He that dude was a regular down there. He always came through and
that
was
makes
copping
sense.
shit
He wears pleasures.
all the time.
He likes like
he likes the graphic tees. He likes graphic tees and he likes wild shit.
and like he's like a biker, so he likes like stuff that you can tell drew inspiration from like
yeah.
bike gang type shit.
Absolutely.
You know? So,
like cuts, like where it has
but
like the
does have
arch
to
over the
fit
back.
Perfect though.
Yeah, it
I had
gotta fit
trouble with
perfect.
him. He kept coming back in with shit though.
Bro,
Like,
he'll
he'd get
try
something-
1,000 times. He'll try it on 1,000 times. He'll put the same thing on again. But like, I mean, like you can't fault him for that. Like he don't care about how much it is. He wants to make sure he looks good in it. You know, people say if you don't love it in the store, you're never going to wear it at home.
Dude, I
Like,
actually took a picture of him and put it on my story the one day. He was wearing a Pablo tour jacket and had his bike helmet with my sticker right on the like top.
yeah,
I was
dude,
like, dude, this is
he don't give a fuck. He fucks
reps.
with everyone. Like if you're
puts
selling
on-
dope shit down Southside, he'll definitely come through and fuck
And dude,
with you.
and then like I'm outside taking pictures, and as he leaves, he hops on his bike and he's just blaring like the newest like Juice World. Or
I know, something
like,
crazy. He's up to date on everything.
Yeah.
Like I never forgot that dude's name because he was such like he was such an interesting guy.
He
Because
he brought his daughter in on her birthday. She's like 17 or something.
yeah, and dropped a rack probably.
Yeah,
like don't
yeah.
give a fuck.
Exactly.
It's like I wish it would be that. Yeah. So I open up this podcast with a segment. It's called "What's in the Cup."
What's in the cup?
So what's in your
yeah.
cup?
Dude, you got the big bottle, Gatorade Glacier Freeze.
Now this is like the.
It's
This is like I
Old-
mean
Old
nostalgic.
Faithful.
Yeah,
Old
this is
Faithful.
nostalgic for sure.
never done you wrong.
My wife fucks with these. Like she'll still get them if she drinks the night before. She'll be like, "Grab me a light blue
The
Gatorade."
best ones are the Gatorades that have like the little twist top that are like skinny
With
and
the
tall, and,
spray?
like zigzag.
Yeah, you can get spray in there.
Yeah, but they only have the cool blue, which I think is like a little too sugar. Like it's too dark and blue. Like I love blue flavored anything.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why I
yeah.
like Glacier Freeze. Like
For sure.
if it's candy, gummy candy.
The light blue though is definitely
It's the move.
This is my go-to. This one and I like the lemon cucumber one or the lemon
That's like some
pepino or
spa
something.
type shit. Like
Yeah,
you-
it's like a refreshing type
Yeah.
drink. I don't really fuck with Gatorade too much, like, but you
When
know,
I found out that my one boy who's like super into fitness, the one day we're chilling and he's like, "Dude, you hear they took out the electrolytes and there's like 30 grams of sugar in each
Yeah,
bottle?" I
they're
was like,
terrible.
"Oh." I was like, "What?"
yeah, it's like drinking a fucking can of pop. But I mean, like, it's
Yeah.
like you feel like you're drinking like Mike's Secret
Yeah,
stuff.
I'd like don't drink pop. Like I'll splurge and like just have a. I just don't. Not for me. It doesn't.
now,
doesn't
is,
sit
is
well.
it the sugar that?
It's the yeah. It just
Dude, there's this shit.
just feels unhealthy. To
It's
me.
called Zevia, okay, and it's pop, but it doesn't have any sugar in it at all. It's all like good ingredients, not good ingredients, but it ain't bad.
Right.
But it tastes.
Yeah.
It tastes good, but it's all natural sweetener.
I guess I don't get pop for the crib, but like if I go to Benny Fierro's across the street
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the shop,
a slice of
they have
pizza.
all the cool like
All the exotic
random, you know,
drinks,
like what's the Blue
Cherokee
Ribbon or
Red
whatever?
and all that
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah, like I mean, I like cream soda.
Yeah,
I definitely like cream soda. If I go to Dose for tacos, I always grab like a
Yeah,
or, like
cream
one
soda
of those,
down there.
Pineapple flavored sodas, like the Jahar.
Oh yeah,
or whatever.
Jacoros or whatever
Yeah.
it's called. I don't think it might have been pineapple or mandarin orange. I think I had of that. Shit is fire. It is. So you whipped these gushers out of your pocket. So you said you pair gushers and Glacier Freeze Gatorades.
for sure.
That's the pair.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna open these gushers. It's
Yo,
been a minute since I
speaking
had
of
some
pairing
gushers.
things, I saw you had Hot Ones on your TV when I came in.
Yeah.
One of my favorite episodes. I've been watching it for like probably since 2016. I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Like the Riff Raff episode
When he's in that suit, tight
where-
as fuck.
and he starts pairing cereal with drinks.
Yeah.
And he says like Fruit Loops and like some kind of Four Loko.
That's ridiculous, dude. Jody High Roller's a wild one. So this pack is all red. In fact,
Damn.
I ain't mad about it. Somebody's just red Gusher.
All right, hold up. Hopefully this isn't loud. I got the variety pack, the tropical. And like I said, I like blue things, so I always like open and just kind of go for the blue.
It's hard for me to like. I've always been just like the typical. I just mix them all together.
If there's 5 connected, you just pop them all in.
Yeah, because like I like the mix of the flavor. Like whenever I did drink pop, and you would go to like fast food places, I'd make fucking river water, and I'd mix like I wouldn't be mixing like Gatorade with like the pop and shit like that, but I'd mix, relatives of the soda world together and make like a fire drink.
Yeah,
Pepsi,
sure.
Dr. Pepper, some Orange Crush and shit.
There's Coke remix machines.
Yeah, you can do wild shit with that.
I remember. I grew up working in like the restaurant industry.
Yeah,
and was always serving and bartending, like right up until I opened the shop, pretty much.
Yeah,
and I worked at this place in Ocean City, Maryland, for the summer, and it was like 2013.
What was it?
Pizza Two Goes.
Was that the main pizza place on the corner?
West OC. No, it was in West Ocean City. So it was across. They were like, if you're on the beach and the plane keeps passing you with like pizza specials.
Yeah.
Like
that's them?
Pretty much. It was like I was 19 and like it was a shitty serving job, but
where are you
got to live
from?
at the beach. I'm from Indiana, PA. Like where IUP is.
You're there originally?
That's where I was born and raised.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. My wife went to IUP, so
really?
like, I was up
Nice.
there for a minute.
I also went to I put in 4 years, like did my time.
What did you go to school for?
So funny enough, I went for small business management.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until kind of like, the whole 4 years there was just like
chaos,
soul searching. Yeah, like just
it's like you don't know what's going on, and I couldn't even imagine. I was just up there on the weekends, so like I would see the bars, and I remember even before I met my wife, I would go up there for like homecoming and shit, and it's just fucking chaos up there.
I did IU Patty since I was like 16.
Yeah, like that's so. Yeah, if you're living up there, you probably fucking went there in high school. And
I had a lot of like older friends.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just from growing up in general. Like I had my brother Chase, who, if you're at the shop, you meet him. He's like my right hand man.
Yeah.
He's 2 years younger than me, 18 months younger than me, and my older brother's 16 months older than me.
Okay.
We're all like kind of into the same shit.
Yeah.
So I hung out with a lot of older people.
And it's 3 people that like the same shit, so like yins are all gonna like vibe kind of.
Yeah.
That's dope though.
But growing up in Indiana, like you'd always have like older friends that went to IUP.
Yeah.
And then I was like a sophomore, junior in high school, and I like, dude, I can't wait to go to IUP. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Then you like, life happens and you realize that like it's way bigger than just IUP.
Yeah, just IUP.
Yeah,
it's like our version of IUP was like Cal U. It's like Cal U was where that was like the 13th grade.
Yeah.
And,
shit.
It wasn't like bad, but like it's just like that's where everyone went.
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't do no better. I went to Slippery Rock, which was just like an hour the other way.
Right.
But there was definitely, I think the only person that I knew that I went to school with, like whenever I moved up there, was like there was probably 2 people from my school, but like Cal U, there was fucking 50 that you would see.
Right.
And like that's cool, but I was just trying to get a little bit of a way.
No, same thing, because that's like you said, 13th grade, something I like didn't want to fall into.
Yeah.
So right when I graduated high school, I got my own house and just like was just like a social butterfly and just hosted mad
events and shit.
Yeah.
So up there, you were like,
I was like 18 years old with our own house with my homie, one of my homies from IUP from Indiana, like growing up, and then another homie that we met while being like delinquent high schoolers, and like he played lacrosse too, and I ended up playing lacrosse. So
that's what's up.
But I made it a point to like not be that guy that only met like people from my high school.
Yeah, for sure. You wanted to like meet other people and like
IUP
learn
is actually
different
super
ways.
diverse. Like beyond the town itself is like not shit going on.
Yeah, but like there's so many different people and shit.
Yeah.
It's it was an interesting place to go up to. Like that was probably my favorite to go compared to like, Cal U or Slippery Rock or anything like that. I feel like IUP was like,
it's a nice, compact, small town. It's like perfect for college. Like
yeah, for sure.
A lot of walk, like everything's.
You can walk to everything. Yeah, that makes sense for sure. And like they have the The bars up there were cool. Like we would always go to like
Low
fucking
key.
Twisted Jimmy's and like Boomies and Steel City and shit.
Yeah.
And like that was cool. I mean, it was weird because like I have a different experience of it compared to like some. Like, I didn't go
As
there.
a visitor,
Yeah. As a visitor, like I have a different experience because like I was dating my wife for 2 years while she was in school. So like I was up there every weekend pretty much, and like she lived on Cherry Street, which was by like the grocery store, and like.
Bilo.
Like a Sheets, Bilo. It was
Way
by
down-
Bilo.
Oh, like so, a little bit off campus.
Yeah, a little bit off campus.
Yeah,
So
I
like,
grew up like right in the cut, like right. I grew up on 6th and Chestnut. So that's
so is this like all like what was your childhood like? Like were you in the woods and shit like that?
No. I grew up right in town. So like
Oh,
walking
like in
distance to
there.
the high school, and then walking distance to the junior high to the middle school as well.
Oh,
and like
shit.
2 streets down from downtown. But like none of my friends did. A lot of my friends lived in like there's nice neighborhoods surrounding.
Yeah.
And
But
then
you got
there's
to
like
drive a
some
little
not
bit.
as nice areas too, just like anywhere else. You
Yeah.
know? But my house, like our house was kind of like a mecca type shit. Like for all of our friends,
Central
football,
location.
yeah. Like we'd walk to football games before we started playing, before we were old enough to like be in high school. And then
Yeah.
all the parades and shit, and like half days.
Oh,
were
yeah,
the
shit.
dude.
That's
Half
crazy.
days.
Wait, so you were a walker to school? Like you walked to school?
Yeah. Up
Well,
until high school though, because I had subs in my car, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm
Yeah.
banging into the parking lot. I don't care if
Yeah.
I live 2 streets
Dude,
away."
that's the way it was. It's like we all had. There was like a group of like 4 or 5 of us. We all just had like 12-inch JL audio subs. And we're just
Rockford
like,
P2s,
yeah,
that's what
just
I had.
fucking killing it. And it's just like, what were you listening to back then? Were you always hip hop and shit?
Yeah, always. Dude.
See, like I went through.
I
like,
mean, I can't say that. I'm definitely diverse with it, but
yeah,
I mean, Indiana in general is. I mean, there's a decent bit of country. I never got
Yeah.
into that. I just couldn't. My
I was-
parents weren't. My dad's like a DV like rock
yeah,
guy.
stereotypical
And then
dad.
my mom's like 70s like Motown type shit.
That's dope though. So,
So-
like you had 2 different sides to like kind of
Yeah,
get the
both
flavor
cool,
of both.
like both cool.
For sure.
But
That was
yeah,
the shit
so-
though.
but
Pulling up to school, just
yeah.
bumping some shit.
I was a major music head, and I still am. Like, I wish that's one talent I wish I had, and I feel like that's kind of like it ties into like what I do.
like
I mean,
playing an instrument.
yeah, or like just honestly rapping.
Yeah.
I have like probably 20 hidden tracks on my parents' computer. There's like I downloaded, so I came up right at the time of like AIM, MySpace, LimeWire,
Yeah, in the thick of
FrostWire,
it. Because you say
Aries.
you're 25 right now.
Yeah, so
So I'm 28. So whenever I was a senior, you would have been a sophomore.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, we're all in the same like.
Yeah. And
We
I had,
were
like,
in the
some-
sweet spot of everything.
yeah, like I had a cell phone since 6th grade, and
See,
I
that's
shared it with my older brother who was in 7th grade. Like we would both like send messages to whatever girl we were talking
I know.
to, or like you talk about skate. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like that's why we were always kind of. And my little brother was like a year younger than us, but he didn't have a cell phone until
Yeah.
he was in like 6th or 7th grade either. But dude, I was always on the computer though, like downloading match. I had a cousin who went to IUP as I was like that, like 6th grade, 12 years old, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
Who was like showing me
All the cool shit.
all the new music, the wrestling, like the, all the major albums.
Yeah,
like the
for sure.
Chronic and
Dude, I talk about this every time on this podcast. If you have an older sibling or like an older like family member that like they're all like the filter of all the dope shit. Like they
and he
went
didn't
through
have
all
any
the bullshit.
brothers. So he only had a sister, and he beat my little brother the fuck up. Like, but my little brother, it's funny. They have that kind of relationship. Like even now,
Yeah.
they still like. He's like 30 something, and
understandable
my
for
little brother's
sure.
23, and like anytime he like ends up
Fuck
in
with
half
each other.
Nelson. Yeah.
That's all right though. So like in high school and shit, yins are doing the same random shit. You're just on MySpace skating and shit like that.
So that was middle school. Yeah, skating, MySpace, like skate videos, music videos.
yeah.
Just all of that mixed together.
How did you get into all that from your older cousin? Pretty much
Well,
like
skating was actually more so from a couple of my good friends that I grew up with that were like, I played a lot of sports, but they were my friends that like kind of played sports, but they were like, nah, fuck that. Like they felt like
Yeah.
they should. Like that's how Indiana is.
yeah, for
So
sure.
there wasn't, we grew up with like, we didn't get a skate park until I was a freshman in high school actually.
Yeah, yeah.
So and the bulk of my skating,
These
there
are
wasn't
just,
even
like,
a park.
skating
Like
curbs
we
and shit.
straight, yeah, we just street skate, find little like sets, little 3 to 6 sets. Like we actually had a little half pipe in our backyard, like
That's
janky
dope.
as fuck, like PVC pipe rail.
That's all right though.
Yeah, like
It's like our boy had a half pipe in his house. Like he was the one who had it, and like it was cool for like a month, and then like it got rained on, like a tarp blew off, and like it started to fucking warp, and people still tried to skate it, and then that all got ripped down, and then he rebuilt another one that was even bigger, but that thing fell apart in like a fucking month again. But like for that month,
hyped and like
yeah,
throwing
dude,
it together.
people that you don't even hang out with, like me and this dude are hanging out every single day, but like people you don't even hang out with are just like hitting you up like, yo, dude, can we come and skate? Like you're just like, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, he was never like a fucking hater about it. People were always over
like come
just
through. So that's even a better thing. Like bringing people together.
Yeah, it was
that,
dope.
Yeah.
It was definitely dope. It was fun to like, because like our whole crew was like, we had fucking at least 10 plus people that we hung out with like on the regular.
Yeah.
And it's like, you had a bunch of people like up there. Was it how big was your graduating class?
Like 230.
So that's like pretty comparable to ours.
Yeah, like I think. And mine was smaller than it. I don't know. It kept getting a little bit smaller after my class. Like I graduated high school in 2012.
Yeah, and you played sports. You said.
Yeah.
What did you play?
I ended up like say my senior year. I was playing football. In lacrosse.
Lacrosse is sick.
Yeah.
We didn't have lacrosse in our high school, but
I
lacrosse
didn't
was
until
fucking
10th
wild.
grade. So before that, I played basketball, football, basketball, and track. Like track was my shit. I did track 9th and 10th grade for high school.
Yeah.
But then when lacrosse came, I just
fuck
my
that.
little brother got to play lacrosse since he was like 7th grade, so he's like sick at lacrosse.
Yeah, lacrosse
I wasn't
is
as
wild,
good, a little
dude.
more physical, a little more just like
You
not as
were
much
just in there,
skill
like,
work.
Yeah, you were just like kind of fucking knocking people over.
Yeah, but
so
it was
you
a
played
good time.
football for a minute?
Yeah, like since Pee Wee, it was my
That's
shit.
dope.
Like,
Would you play?
I was a running back,
Really?
slot back, and
Damn.
cornerback. I've been the same
I didn't mean to
size.
say like
no.
really like
I've
that.
been the same size since I've been like 5'10", 150 since like sophomore, so a little bit bulkier, I guess, just for playing football because I was working out a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
And, my older brother was a quarterback, and he set some records. Played at Clarion for 2
that's
years,
dope.
then went to IU, then came back to IUP. I played club lacrosse at IUP, but for a little bit, for like a year, I was like, yeah, I want to play football in college.
I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
I
but
got
then
like
I got
like
injured pretty bad. So
in football.
yeah, I broke my tibia.
Holy fuck!
The end of my junior year, and we were in the playoffs and shit.
So Yeens were good.
Yeah. I mean, historically not that good, but our team, we had I hung out with mad people, and we were all pretty close.
Yeah.
Kind of into the same shit. So we had like a crew that was pretty close, and
See,
we had
like
a couple standout athletes.
It's fucked up. We didn't win a game.
Where'd you go to school?
Elizabeth Forward.
Oh, okay.
So you know where that is? It's
Kinda,
like by
sorta,
Century
not
3
really.
Mall, like Century 3 Mall, a little bit
Okay.
beyond there.
Yeah,
But
I think of like TJ when I think
we played against them. We played
Okay.
against TJ, but like TJ was fucking shitting on people.
Yeah,
and like
I knew that. We were in the Whitfield, so like
Oh, yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah.
AAA, but like we're not as good as some
dude.
of the
no one's as good as TJ. Like
some shit like that.
no one is. I mean, even McKeesport and shit like that. They might be now, but like we were getting shit on in high school. But it was weird because like our football team, we didn't really have like that camaraderie. Like there wasn't like, it was like real cliquey and like weird. It was a young team.
Yeah.
I think we only had like 8 seniors, and then like 3 of them got one kid kept getting concussions. One kid fucking tore his ACL.
Shit always happens.
Yeah, it always was like fucked up. So you broke your tibia
Yeah, that was fucked. Like
during a game.
yeah,
What happened?
Catching a punt return. So I did kick returns. I did kick returns and punt returns.
You were probably quick.
Yeah. I'm the type. I was like fast. Like everyone called me Zed, but then my other coach would call me Zippy.
Can I ask you, is your real name Zed?
My name's Zach Edgar.
Okay, so yeah,
it
Zed.
actually like kind of came from football in 7th grade. Like my older brother put K Edgar on his helmet with the tape. I put Z Edgar, and then my coach started like calling me Zedgar.
Zedgar.
And then like my friends call me Zed as well, kind of like at the same time. This was like 7th grade, so
Yeah.
like I'm 13, And then my older friends who were like 15, like saw Pulp Fiction and shit and would be like,
"Yep, Zed's
Zed,
dead."
yeah, like,
yeah.
and then the random shit, just like Zeddy, Uncle Zed, like DJ Zeddy, just like it became just like a funny
Dude, the
thing.
nickname is fucked up.
Yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse. Like, if you're some dude that gives yourself a nickname, like, it's not as cool, but like, people have called me Strawberry for since probably 6th grade. I was at a football camp, and like,
So
these
that's
older
your.
kids.
Actually, I was gonna say I didn't really know. So I know your personal Instagram is Strawberry Cuz.
Yeah.
So is that like your?
Yeah, it's just like it's been that forever. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know what else to make it besides for just Strawberry, and like, I would always call people Cuz back then. I had friends that call people Cuz, and I just threw that together. But
Word.
like,
Yo, that's funny as hell because my personal Instagram, which I don't really put out there at all,
yeah,
like ever, but I've had it since 2012, like senior year going into college. I ditched Facebook and hopped on the Instagram train.
Yeah.
I was like, it was like MySpace, Facebook, and it's like MySpace 6th to like 8th grade, Facebook like 9th to 11th, and then like Instagram. And
See-
I made my name Zedbra because everyone would be like, brah.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and it's
"What's
just like
shocking,
shit,
bro?"
like,
Yeah, so it
shit
was
like that just sticks.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
it's like principals called me that, teachers called me that, and when they announced it at football, they called me that. And it's like, you know, like the majority of people that I met, it's weird people call me Chad. Like, people will call me Barry now, or like everyone got their own little like
Yeah.
names and shit, and it's just
True.
like
Yeah,
whatever.
the only people that call me Zach are really like family members.
Yeah,
like
family
my
members.
girlfriend and,
Yeah, exactly. My girlfriend, my wife ain't never calling me that. She was like, "I'm never calling you Strawberry." And I was like, "That's cool. I'm cool with that."
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? You got to disconnect
Yeah.
that. But a nickname is cool. Like, if you had it for that long and you
Yeah.
ended up just like,
I mean, at the store, it's
at least it's not something fucking dumb like Stinky or
right. And
you know what I mean?
It kind of happened like that. Like right, exactly. I never didn't like it. You
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
it's
Like,
not bad at all.
I was like, I'm fine with that. Like it's.
So it's like, whenever you're like, you had a pretty close group of friends and shit like that, I assume, growing up, and like,
Yeah.
like, what else are you guys into besides like sports? Like, I see you're wearing a WCW shirt.
Fuck yeah.
So we talked about you were into skating for sure.
Yeah.
You have to be into wrestling and shit
For
because
sure.
like,
Yeah.
if you look at your store, you could tell. See, the reason, like, I came across you guys late. I was in Threads, and like, people were always coming down with these brown bags, and like, I seen some dude roll in with a Bape jersey the one day, and I was like, "Where'd you get that at?" And he was like, "There's this place called Zeds up the road who got all kinds of shit: Supreme, Bape, ice cream, all this shit."
Yeah.
And as soon as you said ice cream, I was like, "I gotta fuck with
Hell
that."
yeah.
And if you walk in, you see that like you have a well versed education in like all this pop culture and shit.
Yeah, it's mostly just to some extent shit that I think is dope, and I try not to, like you said, that there's a little bit of everything.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like it's not just an overwhelming amount of one brand. You know, like I try not to
Everything you could think of in there.
try to dabble, but now I'm trying to think. Oh, so you worked at Threads?
Yeah, I worked for Threads for like 3 years.
Okay.
So I was down there even whenever they had like their first store, that small one where the bodega is right now next to Starbucks. It's like that used to be Threads, and it was like the fucking size of this living
Right.
room. But then we ended up moving right next to Local, and I worked there for like 3 years, and I ended up fucking splitting from there and just like doing all this shit. But like
Right.
I ended up going up there, and I like walk in, and I remember seeing you had like the whole shelf full of like how many, like 50 Space Jam VHSs.
That's mine and my little brother's like collection put together, and it's like a funny thing. Like it's kind of up for interpretation for anyone, but how it started with us was like I would thrift copies of Space Jam.
Yeah.
And there came a point where I'd thrifted like 10 copies, and they were stacked up in my room. And like anyone that would come up to my room, I was like having all my friends kind of knew that I had not nearly as much as I have now, but like,
Yeah.
you know, I had a little closet of stuff to shop.
For sure.
And people would always mention like something about
All
how
the
many
Space Jam.
So when I opened the store, I was like, yeah, man,
It's
gonna
like
be
iconic
somewhere.
though. I mean,
Yeah.
Space Jam is like probably one of the most iconic movies growing
For
up.
sure. Not even for the storyline or anything.
Nothing.
It's just
It's
like
just
the
like-
fact of collaborations. Like
Absolutely.
I love collaborations. Just
Absolutely.
In anything, and like
It's like Michael Jordan and the Looney
Celebrity
Tunes
Deathmatch,
are the biggest things in the world for
Yeah.
us growing up. Like those are like two of the most notable things. Now I'm curious though, like how'd you get into thrifting and shit? Because like you seem to have like some You seem like you've been in it for a minute.
Yeah, so it's like a combination of a couple things. My family's like a thrifty family.
Yeah.
My grandma, like, I never really thought about it too much until I like really at one point, like, I never overthink a whole lot of stuff, but sometimes you gotta like put shit in retrospective and like just.
Oh, we're gonna go deep on this podcast. Yeah. I'm excited about it.
But so growing up, my grandma, like both my parents worked a lot growing up. My mom right now still has like 2 jobs, and my dad's been like in between jobs for years. So that's like why I work for myself. But so my grandma would take myself and my crazy brothers to the flea market and like thrift stores and stuff
all day.
Yeah. So that's like thinking back, like I used to love that shit. And then when I was able to start like shopping for myself, when I would order, I guess like 13, 14, you're still got to use your parents' money.
Absolutely.
Like I got a job dishwashing when I was 15, pretty much to buy myself clothes and shoes.
Buy your own cool shit.
Yeah, exactly. So I would always like get the crazy deals on like Polo and Tommy at TJ Maxx and like Marshalls, like shit that got marked down. Like I was always small, so I could even make a youth XL work.
So where did Tommy come into play? Because that was my favorite shit growing up. I remember the gray shirt with the box logo.
Big color blocking.
Bro, I had so many of them because like my brother was 6 years older, so like he always put me on to John Blaze, Echo, Tommy, fucking LRG, all this shit, dude. So it was dope. But you always got this Tommy shit out. You have a big appreciation.
So I guess I've come to appreciate it more over the years because at first it was kind of like Tommy's just iconic, and like, you know, you see it on Snoop and on SNL, and you see a bit Outkast wearing it, just like.
That's a good point, I guess.
That for me, it was kind of like
iconic people wearing it at
and
that
then
time.
This the designs. It's like
they're
the
dope
color
as
blocking.
fuck.
Like,
They're still dope, dude.
Big bold shit like that, and all the cool accessories, just like collaborations he's done. You know, just ahead of his time type of stuff. But
Did you see that he commented on your post not long ago?
So he follows me.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So so like. He just like Thomas J. Hilfiger follows me, not the Tommy Hilfiger brand.
Yeah, I seen it.
That's why I've grown to appreciate it, because like I realized that he is a dude that like. So when I first started getting into the vintage stuff, if you look the whole way back on my page, you can see it's just like me. Most of the time, it was me in the thrift stores taking pictures of stuff in the thrifts, or like outfits that I would wear. Like I'd go full Tommy overalls, like Tommy Game Boy, whatever. And this was like 2016. And I would always post and like tag Tommy, do some other wild shit. And then he started like looking at it. And there was this time I posted, like I thrifted this. You seen the bootleg Tommy shirts?
Yeah.
The Beavis and Butthead.
See, I only seen the shit that you posted though of it.
Word. So there's all types of crazy bootlegs.
Because he commented, he said, "Yeah, definitely bootleg."
So he's commented probably like 10 times. Like whether it's informative, he'll say this was from July something of 1984, original outside label.
That's fucking dope.
So at first though, the first time he really like noticed my page, and my page was still Zeds Vintage Threads at the time.
That's what it originally was.
Yeah,
Zeds Vintage Threads.
Right. So back to when I started like getting into the thrifting. So
yeah.
I was always just into like fashion and shopping. And then I started dating this girl at IUP in 2012. Before that, I never really shopped retail. And that's probably why you never really saw me at Threads. I still don't like shop retail.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Sometimes I'll go to Ross and like grab pants or something. Like,
yeah.
But everything else, pretty much, I'm like find gems. I'm like an eBay baby. My dad was heavy on eBay, so I'd always be
absolutely
since like 2013. I recently got kicked off eBay though.
Really?
I used to make a lot. Like I used to pretty much live off of eBay.
Yeah.
Like while I was at barber school.
So with eBay, you're selling the vintage shit that you have found in the past.
That was thrifted, so my bad. I'll stay on track. So
that
was thrifted. That's like 2016.
Yeah.
When I started really like having 500 listings on eBay at a time and shipping like 30
Holy
packages
shit.
every Monday. You know what I mean? Type of thing. But before that, I was always into fashion. I met this girl who's Mama into Plato's Closet in
Yeah, yeah,
Philly,
yeah.
King of Prussia.
Oh, damn. So it was probably banging out there.
Dude, so I would go visit her. And like I said, I lived in Ocean City, Maryland for 3 summers. Like I would go to IUP, live in Ocean City, Maryland, bartend, live the beach life, just
Make a check.
Yeah. And but when I would go there, I would stop in Philly, go to Plato's Closet, all that, and I'd get like the hundreds diamond, my bad.
That's all right.
Like all the streetwear brands that I was into for like nothing, you know?
Yeah.
And then I ended up working there.
At Plato's Closet?
Doing an internship there, moving to Philly for a little bit after IUP, and then working there and kind of like seeing the behind the scenes and
how it works a little bit.
Taking some items that came in and putting them on my eBay.
Yeah.
Like, I was interning, kind of managing, like manager and training.
Yeah.
So I kind of like, and their sneakers were getting slept on. Like they would get sneakers in and price them for nothing.
They had dope sneakers?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I haven't seen a Plato's Closet here with anything worth it at all.
Dude, I used to loot the ones here. Like I used to.
Yeah. So wait, let's put a pin in this for a second. So whenever you first started like buying like vintage shit, like what were you buying? Because this is obviously just for yourself at first.
Right. So when I was managing the Plato's Closet.
Yeah.
We broke up and I moved back here.
Yeah.
So I was out of IUP, working at Plato's Closet, and as we broke up and I moved here, I also stopped working there.
Yeah.
So I moved back here without a job. And I was like, it was fresh that I was still had a couple things up on eBay from Plato's that I was snagging, Gucci loafers, Jordans, whatever.
They had
I was
Gucci
getting my
loafers
employee
up in there?
Yeah, dude, it was. Being near King of Prussia was crazy. Like people dropped off some shit. Like there was Supreme back that people would bring to Plato's Closet back then.
That's like the fucking Hollywood Bowl. They find like all them Supreme North Face jackets.
Oh, the Rose Bowl.
The Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
That's
I think
it. Yeah,
that's this weekend or some shit.
Dude, that shit's wild.
Yeah.
I guess you got to be around the right spots.
So when I moved back to Indiana, from living in Philly and doing the Plato's thing, I started going to thrift stores.
Yeah.
And Indiana was like untouched territory. Like
Yeah,
nobody
for
was
sure.
doing it there. Literally nobody. And my little brother was home for the summer, so I kind of like put him on.
Recruited.
Round 2 just started making YouTube videos. I
Yeah.
remember watching the very first one. It was like 2016 at this point, 2015, 2016. And I was like, damn, like this is a thing, you know? And
Killing
started
it.
teaching him what I knew, kind of just learning every day from what sold, what didn't. So I would go to like Salvation Army, St. Vincent de Paul, Goodwill. Indiana only had 3 thrift stores.
Yeah.
So beginning of the year, I'm like, I can't live in Indiana anymore. So, and I had my college degree. I was interviewing at like different jobs after the Plato's, like I interviewed at Enterprise, just like management positions.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is all bullshit. Like, so I moved to Pittsburgh to go to barber school because I said, you know, my parents had to let my parents know, you know, I'm going to barber school to get my license so I can own a barbershop.
Yeah.
You know, like let them
Security.
know. Yeah. So moved to Pittsburgh, started working at Monterey Bay, just serving and bartending like I always did.
Yeah.
Since I was like 15. So that was 2016. I was like 22, 23. And then I started, you know, I moved to Pittsburgh and I go from having 3 thrift stores
To 50.
yeah, so I started just going nuts, like just obsessively thrifting. I'd go to the Red, White, and Blue on 51 every morning at 9 a.m. Like,
Yeah.
and just loading up, like spending like $100, $200, like every morning. And like the ladies started to know me.
Yeah,
and,
know exactly who you are.
type of thing. So, but I'd have a run because I was going to barber school. I'd hit that in the morning, go to barber school, go to the community thrift center on Noblestown.
Yeah.
Go to the bins out Heidelberg, hit the Plato's Closet out there as well. So I'd hit like every level of thrift.
Putting in work, though.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, and I was driving a whole lot, and then shipping it all myself, putting it on eBay, shipping it. My Instagram was not that popping at the time. I was but I was building it up though. Like I knew, you know, I saw that thrift pages on Instagram were starting to pop up more.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think Pittsburgh might have had like 2 or 3.
Yeah, there was like I don't even remember the name of the first dude that I ever seen. Was it like Rare Vintage or something?
Rare Vintage. So Exactly. I followed him since I was at IUP.
Yeah, because he was the
made
first
gin and
person.
juice jersey.
That's exactly
why you
what
know-
caught
yeah.
my eyes, because
That's the
I
homie.
made clothes in like 2013. I had my own brand, and I was doing I was selling shit at like one of these conventions, and they were there. And I just remember
he's been doing it for. He's definitely been doing it for a
grip.
minute. Yeah, and he was. He's from Philly. He went to Duquesne though, so that's why
Okay.
he was here. As far as that goes,
Yeah, and like, so whenever you're doing this shit, like, where are you learning about where are you learning the knowledge at? It's like, I get that you were seeing like rappers and shit like that wearing Tommy and everything like that, but like, where are you learning more? Because obviously if you're into this shit super heavy, you got to do research and figure out what is like popping, like what's selling and everything. Is it just you like going down black holes on the internet?
honestly, a lot of it, and it still does come to like shit that just I genuinely think is dope. Like I don't put too much thought into like. I mean, I learned from mistakes, and I always have.
Yeah.
So, like, buy something, put it on my eBay, it didn't sell, won't buy something like that again. Like
That makes
type,
sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just that type of thing, and just seeing like other resellers or Instagrams back when I first started, and kind of see that had a big following at the time, and kind of
like,
see like, oh, okay, well, if that's,
I'm sure pretty much everyone's shit is like has some inspiration from round two.
Yeah.
It's like those dudes
They were, like,
changed-
pioneers
Yeah,
of
they fucking changed the
as
game.
far as like really making it into like a living. Like,
Yeah, a living and being able to like not buy a fucking dope ass pair of shoes and like set them at some crazy price and just sit on them for years until someone wants to pay that wax price.
Right. And Plato's margins were crazy because like they mark up 70%. So they only give the person 30% of what they're going to sell it for.
Yeah,
Which
just
is like
to sell it in that
waxing
store.
somebody. So I kind of like learned from their mistakes as well.
Yeah,
And kind of put my own twist on it. But I mean, dude, it's an everyday thing. Like I learned it's also a fine line of grabbing stuff that I think is dope versus what will actually sell.
Yeah,
because-
dude, that's the hardest thing because
But-
like in threads, like I would always just be like, you know, like I don't fuck with this, but I
Dude, it's
know
almost
people will buy
impossible
that.
to, like,
I know people will
yeah.
buy that, but it's so fickle. Like the world is so fickle. It's like one day you got biker denim that's like you can't keep them on the shelves, and then the other day people don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like everyone wants the shit that no one else is wearing.
Right.
But it's such like a weird cycle because it's like it goes through these phases. It's almost like the phases of the moon. It's like all this old vintage shit is there at one point. Then we progress into like we keep progressing, and then it just starts over again.
Right.
And all that shit comes back in, and it's just in a phase through again.
Yeah.
It's weird to think about.
It is. And honestly, I think that's like, I think I mentioned earlier, like I don't overthink stuff too much. Or I try not to like dwell too hard into something.
Yeah, there's
like,
tomorrow.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, fuck it.
Right.
It's like, why worry about it?
But it's like, you know, it is my livelihood and my business, so like I do have to pay attention to like what's
For
going
sure.
to sell and what's not going to
There's
sell.
a difference between paying attention and like over worrying.
Yeah, no, it's piece by piece, man. Like I'm almost a year into the business, and I mean, every day I learn what, you know, like, oh, that was a
trial
mistake
by
like,
error.
Like apparently I thought that was fire at one point in time.
Now, where did like the hair cutting come into play? Was that just like a way to like, is that a fallback plan?
Right. It's something that'll always be there. I did always cut hair though. So I grew up in Indiana, and there's no good barbershops there.
Yeah.
So I would just go to like J.C. Penney's and just get butchered, like just
Oh,
get
no.
bodied
Fantastic
by, like,
Sam's.
Suzanne or whatever. Yeah. Actually, no. Shout out to Susan. She was super cool. Yo, Susan. I shouldn't have used that name because she actually grew. She cut my brother's hair, and like we would always have like pretty similar haircuts, and we were super blonde.
Yeah.
So, she was the shit. But then when I was
Shout
like,
out
all right, I want to
Susan.
start coming. Well, I always went through crazy like. Even if like pictures of me in elementary school, I spiked my hair up super high,
100%.
and just like do whatever I want. My mom said like as long as she can remember, like she wasn't able to tell me like what to do with my hair, like I would just run it.
Yeah, fuck
I had
with it.
real long hair. I skated obviously, so I had long hair at the time.
Yeah.
But then when I hit like 8th, 9th grade, pierced my ears, went with the buzz cut, line up, kind of like half days, and at football camp, I would cut people's hair.
Oh yeah.
So I'd be like, I started cutting my own hair because other places would just fuck it up. And
Yeah.
I had cowlicks here and there.
Absolutely.
And no one just cut my hair how I liked. So I started doing it myself in the bathroom. And it turned out good, and my friends would be like, cut my hair, and then my friends' moms would start paying me to cut their hair. And
Damn.
on half days at my house, like I said, I lived like downtown.
Yeah.
I'd literally sit in my front yard, run an extension cord, and like hustle, like cut like 3 of
That's
my friends'
fucking
hair.
dope.
Some for free, some take
Yeah,
money,
yeah,
whatever.
that's
But
dope.
like, yeah, so I always cut hair. I like the culture, like
Oh,
of it.
absolutely.
I like the idea of it.
Hip hop and like hip hop, fashion, and hair cutting, it all goes hand in hand.
And then when I went to
Barbershops
IUP,
and
I
everything.
did a little hair cutting. So when I knew I wanted to own my own business, like I said, I went to school for small business management.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to own a restaurant.
That's
like,
what you wanted to do?
Yeah. But
Are
then
you like cooking and shit like that?
I mean, I was always on the serving side of things.
Oh, okay.
Always.
You're more or less the business side rather than just like
Right.
the passion of cooking.
Yeah, exactly. More so like, yeah, exactly. Like I love serving. As soon as I could, I served. I started when I think I was like 17.
That's the only job I've never had.
Yeah,
I was a
it's-
fucking janitor, fast food, cashier, never
It's
did a
hustling,
serving
dude. It's
job.
fast money. I've always loved like that. It's
Yeah,
like,
you had to kill it at Monterey Bay.
dude, it was good, man. But it just like it came to the point where it felt like lifeless to me. Like
Yeah, you're not passionate about it. There's no
yeah,
heart in what
right,
you were
like,
doing.
I'd put in the time and I would just not feel like accomplished. Like I would have
Absolutely.
money, but I would be like, oh, that's
Still a
you
part
know,
missing out of your
yeah,
heart.
I'd be like in the back hitting my pen, just like
I know,
you
right?
and then like Monterey Bay was fancy. I've worked some fancy bar.
The one on Mount Washington?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
worked some high end bartending jobs, like craft cocktails, and I know how to whip up some cocktails. But like,
Where'd you learn how to do all that shit? Just over time?
yeah, so I worked my way up at Romeo's Pizza. That's where I worked. If you've heard of it.
Romeo's Pizza.
Romeo's Pizza. They've been around. That dude has been killing it at IUP.
I feel like, is it on the main?
It's next to Taco Bell. It's like Wayne. It's more in like the heart of campus rather than like
I
the
know
town.
exactly where you're talking. Just because you said Taco Bell, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking
So
about.
I started
Wow.
there washing dishes when I was 15. Worked up to server. When I went to IUP, I kept working as a server there.
Yeah.
And then they opened a restaurant, a high-end Mediterranean restaurant, and needed bartenders, and that was like my first in.
Oh,
Just
that's
because
dope.
I'd been working there for a while. They're like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
yeah,
you know."
yeah.
So I did that a little bit, and then I moved to Ocean City and got like a bartending job
Yeah, and they put
From
you
this-
through crash course, I'm
next
sure.
to Secrets. It was crazy. I was on this pool bar.
Secrets.
That was the year after Two Goes. So while I did Two Goes down there, I was telling you with the Coke remix machine,
Yeah.
which I saw for the first time and just blew my mind. Like I was like, holy shit, mixing like vanilla
Anything
Dr.
you
Pepper.
want.
Yeah, it was crazy. But so I started bartending that way, and then it was just always a way to like make quick cash.
Yeah. And it's probably not as bad as like fucking dealing with like people like
Being
that.
in the dish room. I mean,
Yeah.
that for me, that was like, I did a year of that when I was like 15, 16, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going back to that.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. So like you always wanted to own a business though. You were
Right.
always entrepreneurial. Like, since
yeah, I
back in
guess
the
so.
day?
I mean,
it's
yeah.
like you're
Now
cutting
that I
hair in
look
your
back,
front
it's
yard,
like- right,
and like getting a little bit of money.
Hustling.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
so you started hardcore thrifting in like 2016. Now you're done
yeah.
with barber school by then.
No, I didn't even start.
Oh
So
shit!
I was thrifting. I went from IUP to Plato's Closet in Philly to back to like Indiana with nothing. I was
Yeah,
painting
yeah.
college dorm rooms like for $8 an hour with my little
Oh
brother.
shit!
And then we would go thrifting and we'd make a couple $100 on eBay.
Yeah.
Actually, the first like big move I did, and shout out to my ex actually, who we broke up. Her mom owned the Plato's Closet, and I moved back here, and she's like, "Hey, this Plato's Closet near you has this Chanel purse for $200. Like, you could easily sell it for $6." I ended up selling it for like $800, made
Holy
like
shit.
$500, off a move. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start. But I never bought the designer purses because I don't like them.
Yeah. It makes sense.
And then that's just like part of it. Not everything I sell in the store I like, but it's a business
you have
move.
to. Yeah, you have to be able to do it.
Yeah, so, but I saw that was going well. I needed to figure out like a definitive. My parents are like, all right, well, are you interviewing places? Like, kind of like painting houses or painting college houses and
But
thrifting
still
on
keeping the
side.
pressure on you. Like,
So-
what are you gonna do?
Right. So I was like, oh, well, my dad, obviously, I just finished college and I'm saying, all right, I'm going to go to barber school and open my own barbershop. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you just went to, we just went through we already got.
Right.
Yeah. So, and meanwhile, I always paid for everything myself. I've always had my own job and I like took pride. And my dad lost his job in 2012 or 13, right when I started college.
Yeah,
So I was like, that's when I decided I didn't want to work for anyone.
that makes sense.
And I realized the restaurant business was like stressful.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine all the
Yeah,
shit.
I
Just hearing it and seeing it and like the lore of it all.
Yeah, the way that the owner of the restaurant was, I didn't want to be that stressed. Like, you know what I mean? So I decided that. And then the barber thing was always kind of on the back end, but I don't know. It's opening businesses now. Being an entrepreneur is like more accepted now, but like
100%.
I mean, even a few years ago, it was kind of like less. I don't know. At least to my parents, if I told them, "Oh, I'm going to open my own business," they'd be like, "All right, well, let's see." You know?
Yeah,
So
it's the same way with mine. Like, how old are your parents?
50 to 55. Like
yeah,
my
like
mom and my dad.
my mom is 60, and it's like my dad is 61, and them, like, they're still in that mindset where it's like, you know, get a job, have security, like work up. And like now they're understanding, like the more that my parents listen to this podcast, they listen to every episode and they like give me feedback on it. So it's like the more that they listen to all this shit.
If my mom finds out, I'll probably tell my parents about this.
Yeah, I mean, this is a family. This is for the family.
No, for sure. No, most definitely. And the thing is I don't often talk about myself or
yeah, I honestly had no idea anything about you. It's like you don't
try
have
to keep to myself.
Yeah, and like
my Instagram page is just business.
Yeah, and you could tell that, and that's like why I do this podcast, is like I try to like learn on how these people like came through and like made this shit happen, because like I'm the same way. Like I don't fucking talk to who I don't want to. I don't talk to people unless I genuinely have an interest in them, because like if you see, like I have like a couple questions written here, but I don't look at them.
Right.
It's kind of just like an organic conversation. But like if I have no interest in it, I feel that it's not going to be an interesting conversation with people.
For sure, yeah.
So I just like,
I guess that's like anything in life.
anything.
Like,
so it's like you're selling the same shit you want. It's like I'm selling the same shit I want. It's like this is just and I think now it's more accepted in this world, because like, you know, parents are seeing that like these fucking kids are making millions off of like Instagram, and like it's not just like go get a job, get married, have kids, and fucking die.
Yeah. Once I put my little brother on payroll, that's when my parents really were like, "Oh shit!" That's dope. So I moved here, and then there was a process, you know, between barber school and I was doing the clothing on the side, but then the clothing started really like just picking up, and I was making good money on eBay, and I was really passionate about it. Like I would like be pissed if I woke up and didn't make it to the thrift in time. You know?
Well, what's the deal with like now eBay does? How much do they take off your sales?
12.9% between them and PayPal.
12.9%.
Yeah, I was paying them like a good $300-400 a month, like regularly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got kicked off, but that was I have my own website now, but I haven't announced it yet because it only has like 60 shirts. I'm gonna announce it when it's fully locked and loaded with like everything.
That makes sense.
Which it will be in the next like couple weeks.
So why'd you get kicked off?
I had 50 things that sold on eBay. Like I would have certain things in my store that I put on eBay, just certain things that may not sell in Pittsburgh, like expensive rap tees, things like that. But things would sell, and I would forget to bring them down, like take them down from eBay.
Yeah.
So over the course of a year, that happened with 50 things. And I would instantly message the person and say, you know, I apologize for any inconvenience. This happened to sell in my store. Refund them right away.
Okay, I get
but
what
just
you're
by
saying.
policy,
I
when
get
you
what you're
hit
saying.
that 50, they just ban you for life.
Oh, for life?
Yeah. So that happened like a month ago. Like,
Jesus.
I was like, yo, I've been giving you guys business since 2013.
Yeah, crazy bread, I'm sure.
Yeah, ridiculous. And, you know, but it motivated me to get my own website up and running. So everything happens for a reason.
You know how many sales you had on eBay?
Dude, a fuckload. I mean, I can't say for sure, but
Hundreds and hundreds.
yeah, every month. I mean, like I had 500 listings up at a time. There was a time.
Yeah,
when I was
that's
doing,
insane, dude.
Yeah.
Now, now you're doing all this shit out of your house in the beginning, like shipping and everything.
Right. I thrift, get it, take pictures in my room, list it. Dude, I'd spend a whole day like just shipping stuff, just like assembly line type style, like just label, tape, next one, label, tape, next one. And I would always like take pictures of like 30 packages stacked up, like that
eBay,
was
hashtag eBay
type of thing. Like literally, like that was like my flex on the Zeds Vintage Threads Instagram. Like
that's
every
dope
Monday.
though. If like you're getting people that are like copping shit all the time. Now, a thing that I'm real curious about with you is so like while you're doing this, how do you manage to do a price point that works for the customer and you. That's still going to work both ways, because like, you know, there's some resellers in the city of Pittsburgh that just like fucking try to wax boys. And it's like they have the same shoes on the wall for, I don't know, 2 years, but you guys, and I mean, like, I hate to compare like round two, but that's the only thing I could like compare to. And they seem to like buy things by volume and just rely on getting rid of it, making a little bit and getting rid of it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's like my business model more so. And like, it's just kind of how I am. I felt like I witnessed it firsthand. I felt like Plato's was just being greedy. Yeah. And then also I obsessively like want new things in my store. Yeah. So I'll get like, if something's sitting there for 2 weeks, I'll just be like, you know,
come
price
by
drop, like, yeah, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I want everyone to win. Like, that's the point of the store, is like, I just loved getting a deal if I would go into a store.
Absolutely,
like,
dude.
Even if it's, you know, whatever, just
a couple
show a
bucks.
little bit of love.
Yeah,
like,
a couple bucks. It makes you feel like you're.
I would want to go back there.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It makes you want to come back to people.
Right. So as long as I can pay the person that's selling it and they're satisfied with what I give them, and I'm happy with what I make, like, I don't have to double my money every time.
For sure.
Like, especially on sneakers, like margins, things that are going to sell in a week. Yeah. My margin's a little smaller.
You can rely on just having them because you know they're going to go out.
And it's not all, you know, calculated to a T. But, you know, as long as I'm in the green, and I do I'm working on delegating work. That's the whole. I'm working on the whole business owner thing.
It's hard, I'm sure. Because,
like, it's a lot.
This shit right here, dude, like, it's just something small as a podcast. Like, I don't want to rely on anyone to do any part of it but me.
Right. So you gotta, but I hated being micromanaged when I worked growing up. So I kind of always remind myself that. But, you know,
that's a good point. I never thought about that. It's like, I hated being micromanaged. So like, you don't want to like
a little bit, I mean, I still see every item. I cash people out. Like, I'm the only person that cashes people out. My little brother will do it here and there, but even then, he's not quite like confident to the point where he wants to be buying stuff. So I mean, that's all. You know, that's up to me. You know, I have a couple employees that are working part time, and I'm slowly building it up. But I'm not in a rush. You know.
Yeah. Especially if you're able to function now with how it is.
Yeah, right. But it's, you know, I mean, I have an accountant, and at first, I was doing literally everything. You know, I have payroll set up. I have an accountant. I have my taxes in line, my inventory, my security for the store, my insurance for the store. Like, I'm 25 years old and I have like 20 bills.
Yeah, so like
3 Duquesne light bills and shit. But
now, how did you get into like being able to embrace all this? Like, did your education at IUP help with it?
I mean, not really. Life experiences at IUP did, though. Yeah. Like, I always hustled. Like, you know,
I get it.
I was in like I was Zed at IUP, and I was like a guy to go to.
Yeah, you're a guy who knew how to find things.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
understandable.
I was always just hustling, and then when I found like that the hustle with the clothing that I was so passionate about, that's when I started to like wean away from
the other shit.
Yeah, and then just like really putting all of my energy into that.
Okay, so, that makes sense then.
Yeah, it was never from like, I mean, I have a supportive family. By no means do they like never just check in with me, but as far as like finance goes, I had that since I was 18, and my parents never asked. So, I was working, I guess, just honestly just diving in and just kind of like day by day. Like, if I knew,
with it.
If me, when I was right about to open the store, knew exactly what it would take and how much, whatever of my time and my whole life and all the money, I would have been like scared as hell. But I just jumped in and kind of.
Yeah. So like, what was that transition like from you whipping this shit out of your house to like you being like, you know, I could do this shit full time. Let's get a fucking store.
So I was working at Monterey Bay serving. And I mentioned earlier, it was good money, but it just felt like like lifeless. So they wouldn't let me off for Mother's Day.
That's
like,
crazy.
I forget when it was, 2016 or 2017, because that's when I started going to barber school.
Yeah.
So I would do barber school 9 to 5, thrift in between, serve at Monterey Bay. So when I quit Monterey Bay on that Mother's Day, like my grandma was giving a speech at church, and like she's 95. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not missing that.
Yeah,
you know?
right?
And I said, fuck it. Like, I'm still in barber school, but I'll get a barber job.
Yeah.
So I started looking around, got this shitty one out in Bridgeville.
Okay.
It was a barbershop job, which I thought was cool, but it was super old school.
Yeah.
And I wanted like a more hip barbershop.
Yeah.
So
Good music bumping and
right,
shit like
exactly.
that.
So I started working at Trending Styles in a roundabout way.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because of Palermo, actually. And because of one of my homies, Zach Ross, who went to IUP.
I know Zach Ross.
do you?
Photographer Zach
Yeah,
Ross?
yeah,
Yeah.
He lays low. Like, he stays out the way nowadays, but like,
Is he still in Pittsburgh?
yeah, he was one of the first dudes that I knew of my friends that were like living with Tolly bands and like went on tour with Riff Raff.
Yeah, I
And, like,
remember all that.
yeah, so I was like,
He
damn,
frequented Threads
him and I
a lot.
hustled together at IUP, and he would always make like homecoming t-shirts and sell them. He'd be like, selling those, and we just supported each other, and we were both into like the same type of thing.
That's
so
dope.
when I moved to Pittsburgh, we linked up. We'd go out on the South Side, do reckless things, like
Yeah.
go to drummer versus DJ, and he kind of started introducing me to a couple people around the city, and I cut his hair, and it was like a tryout type thing.
Yeah.
We went to the first episode of the Berg Boys, where they interviewed Palermo.
That was it. Trending Styles?
Yeah, no. So Palermo was like, pull up. He's like, yeah, you guys can pull up here. Like, I'll check out the haircut here. At ID Labs.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, I have this barbershop. I hadn't even gone there yet, but he's like, just show me the haircut, show me the fade. We'll see what's good. Well, let me meet him. So I met him that night, and he was like, yeah, man, like, you'll be cool. Fade was cool. We kicked it. He's like, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So then I went down to Trending Styles, met his uncle, Cook,
Yeah.
and then started cutting there. So I really liked the vibe.
Yeah.
But I realized that like cutting hair wasn't my hustle. I wanted to own a barbershop.
Yeah, you just wanted to.
I like cutting hair, but the money wasn't quite. I'm a perfectionist. So
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
cut
yeah.
hair, I get really wrapped up into like, I pretty much just lose money when I'm cutting hair.
you
like-
take long doing it?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm just really,
I get what you're saying.
I'm like very detail oriented and a perfectionist. So it wasn't for me. So I was working there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then the clothing thing, meanwhile, was just picking up. And I'd be down there cutting hair, and I'd have a couple people stop through for like a crew neck or a jacket I posted. And they were cool with that.
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
like, yeah, you like do your thing. They're like,
Yeah,
that's
bring
sick.
people
yeah,
in,
like
right?
they're like, yeah, like you're doing that. Like as long as it doesn't interfere too much.
Now, are you just selling vintage at this point, or are you selling
Sneakers and a little bit of sneakers and Supreme. Just,
Okay, yeah.
I
Just
mean, I wasn't
dabbling in
like
that, though.
grabbing shit regularly.
Okay.
But I had a couple of my own things, and then I would sell, kind of do a little consignment thing as well. I had other homies that it was 2016, so we're big into Yeezys and Supreme. I didn't really have the money for that though.
Yeah, for sure. Just like a lot of normal people.
Right. Like I didn't have the money for that. I was, serving tables, bartending, going to barber school, balancing that, living with a couple of my homies up on Mount Washington.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was a little bit of it, but mostly the vintage, mostly the thrift finds.
Now that shit, I assume, is like your biggest margins, right? It's like,
Yeah. No, we stay with like a strict 50% on the vintage.
I mean, like
We buy in bulk.
I mean,
though.
like from like the beginning starting, it's like you're gonna buy vintage shirts that you're just gonna find these hidden gems at like a fucking Goodwill, and like some of them shirts you're gonna spend $2-3, $5 max, and then
Yeah.
just you can like move
found a
them up.
couple. Yeah, early in it had a couple like thrift finds that really got me hyped. you
Like
know?
what?
Like,
Like, what's your favorite thing you found? Because that's a question I've written down. Like,
Oh, really?
Like
Okay.
your biggest find. Like, you were just like, what the fuck?
so I was always into polo bears. Just the concept of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know, but like all of the bears are like modeled after Ralph Lauren.
I did not know that.
His employees, as a gift, they were like, decide, what do you get Ralph Lauren, the man who has everything? Like, so they got him like a bear dressed as him, and he like loved it, like physically a plush bear.
Yeah.
So, and then he's like, all right, let's start running with this. Put it on t-shirts, started making more bears.
Oh, okay.
It's just dope. Like I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And I started seeing like just different bears with really dope fits that I thought were sweet. But I walked in the red, white, and blue the one morning, and I would always check the fresh rack. Like I would literally creep behind like the employee who's bringing the rack right out from the back and just instantly start shopping it. So, like the one day I walk in and there's 5 Polo Bear crew necks in a row.
Really?
Like one that sells for 200, one that sells for 100, one that sells for like for $20 each or something.
Damn.
I was really hyped on that.
So those were like,
And that was like one of my first like posts. I had like posted it in my like shopping cart at the thrift, and it got like whatever like 500-600 likes, and I never like really got that kind of like reaction before.
Yeah, that buzz right off of that.
So I was like, like that was cool. I've thrifted. There's a couple Harley tees that are. It's all about collectors. Similar with vintage, similar with Supreme and all the accessories and everything else. It's all about someone's collection.
Yeah, and the want that they have for those pieces.
My brother and I mean, we kind of like started together, and like, I don't know, we always share the pieces we get, and we found a couple of these Harley 3D emblems with like a hog.
I saw one you just
it.
posted.
Yeah, so there's like a hog on the one, and they sell for $300 to $600. But we found them for like $1. Yeah, so that's
insane.
Different band tees. When I opened the store, that's really when like
the vintage shit started taking off.
Dude, it's been a blessing. Like, shout out. I mean, my store is kind of a reflection of like all the dope shit that Pittsburgh has to offer. And all the stuff that people thrift, and I just pay up for stuff. Like, that's the thing for me is like, I'll pay up for a gem that you thrifted because I know that it doesn't just happen. It doesn't just appear.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and you should be paid for that. I shouldn't be the one making a shitload of money. Like,
you're putting in the work finding it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got wrap tees, Polo Beach, Snow Beach, like just things that I never thought that I'd have in my store within like the first couple months.
Oh, that's dope.
Just from like just really just showing love to people, and like, I don't know.
Now, whenever you have this store and you're starting this out, like, what made you wanted to pick the South Side? Like,
so that kind of ties back to working at Trending Styles.
Okay.
So I'm working at Trending Styles, hardly cutting hair, going there, kind of just chilling, selling some clothes, cutting hair every once in a while, promoting my business, my Zeds Vintage Threads to everyone whose hair I cut.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Like, so, meanwhile, I'm cutting someone's hair. I'm just bullshitting.
Got this
them.
fresh cut. I got some dope ass shit to sell.
Exactly. So, you know, and then I'm making 50% of the haircut.
Yeah.
I get a booth rental price that to me I felt like I could find somewhere for that.
Yeah.
So even if it was just cutting hair, I was like, more and more I kept thinking like, I don't know, I felt like, meanwhile, I'm just, this entire time I'm like soul searching. Like I just never really got it, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
you were just figuring it out.
But when I did kind of like jump in, I was like, you know, I had a couple like, I remember for a while I would like just be up in my room and just be like in deep thought. You know what I mean?
In deep thought.
And like kind of drawing inspiration from other successful people and just like deciding like just kind of deciding like what I needed
manifesting
to do.
Your
so
own.
I was like, all right, I need to, you know, so I jumped into getting my LLC, getting my EIN, registering with the state. And then I looked on Craigslist for places for rent. I found somewhere for like under, you know, $1,500.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to go for it. And then really from there, dude, there's been like no looking back. I just kind of, it came to the point where I was like, I need to just go for it. Yeah. Like I just need to.
Yeah, dude, that's what everyone needs to do. They just like, everyone's just like, I'll sit here and think about plans for hours, but just fucking do it.
Right. And that's what I realized though, after like studying some other successful people. And just like,
what kind of people do you look up to? Like, who do you look up to?
Dude, it just depends, but I like a lot of people that just kind of like do their own thing, but a big thing is just staying positive.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds corny, but there's really, once you get that mindset, it's like life's gonna happen anyways. It's all
absolutely
up to you. It's mental. I mean,
glass half full.
It's hard to say like for sure, but
now whenever
fag though, I watched a couple complex blueprints that like really kind of got me thinking.
He's a wild dude. I respect his colorways of shit. Like, I love his color palettes that he uses. And,
yeah, and it's not even that I love everything he puts out.
yeah, not everything.
Honestly, it's more so...
I like his
idea of
hustle,
just
though.
hustling.
Yeah,
like,
he's
right.
It was dope. He did the Kith, the Tommy shit.
Kind
like,
of the way he came up, though. Just, like, working for someone else.
yeah, and, like,
doing his
wanting
own
to do
thing.
more his own thing.
Right.
And that's definitely the most respectable for sure. Now, to be a business owner, though, like, you started this out and you said you're about to hit a year.
Yeah.
When's the year?
April 20th, dude. 420.
Damn, I'm about to drop this for your year.
Yeah,
that's gonna work out good.
Is
actually.
that all right? Weird, yeah, nice.
That'll work out good.
Yeah,
actually,
420 last year. I had a Benny Fierro's pizza party with
That's
like a
dope,
teenage
dude.
with the TMNT like flyer type thing. It was like 420 pizza party at Zeds.
now
It was
what
like a mixtape drop. To me, I wanted it to be like like an album drop.
like
type
people
of thing.
stop in and like get the environment, and,
Yeah.
like kind of see how it is.
Right.
Now, where like what was the inside of the store like? Like, did you have
It was
quantity? Like whenever you bought this spot and you wanted to open a brick and mortar store, like
Yeah.
did you already have inventory?
Yeah, so I had it in the basement of my house.
Okay.
So I was working at Trending Styles, and first I had it in the attic of my house.
Yeah.
And then I moved to another crib.
Yeah.
And I had the whole basement. Like I had my barber chair and like 3 racks around it, and a little like shitty Walmart thing with all my hats and shoes.
Yeah.
And people would come through for a cut. People would come through and shop. Not often. Like not people don't want to pull up to your crib in Brookline. On the top of it.
yeah,
like,
that's
you
true.
know what I mean?
Yeah, just roll up to my spot,
Like
dude.
here
find
and
it.
there, but
Yeah.
not really. So that's kind of what
And it's more professional to
I was
have
doing
a spot.
it out of the crib, spending a lot of time shipping, a lot of time thrifting, a lot of time driving around, a lot
Yeah.
of time listing online. I was like I said, when I was sitting down and manifesting, I was like, all right, I need to just make my life easier. I need to put everything in one place.
Yeah, one central
and just,
area.
like focus my energy. Like that's how I felt. Like I was like spreading myself too thin, doing too many things. So when I decided to like really just focus my energy and try to like just take action, like that's like
Yeah.
that's really, and then once I started the ball rolling,
Yeah.
you don't have any choice but to take action.
keep it going.
So like that's,
Now-
I've just been rolling with it. I mean, in the last year, I feel like I've aged like 5 years. Like, dude, it's been a learning experience for sure.
It has to be. It's like
Especially, the Southside. But I realized the Southside, you did ask me that, and I didn't get to it, but I felt like it was missing that.
the vintage.
Yeah, like I was familiar with Anthony's Locker.
Yeah.
That is the homie. Like Wade's a good dude. I went there a few times. Nothing too crazy because, like I said, I didn't really.
They
have
don't really-
that excess like money to be.
Yeah, like they're more of like the hype beast type shit. Like they got the hypey shoes, but you don't see the type of like vintage type shirts that you have at
and
your
Highway
spot.
Robbery, given they're there.
Yeah, but, like,
and
that's still
Buffalo
different.
Exchange, but I knew that like it was a niche, and I felt like
Yeah, absolutely.
honestly, I was driving by the spot the one day when I looked it up on Craigslist, and I just like felt like this is it. Like I was.
what
like,
was that spot before?
It was like a comic book store. It was completely empty when I got it. I had this.
Oh, that was the comic book store, was it?
It was also Commonwealth Press. But when I got there, it was It was all red and green on the inside, and it was empty. So
Yeah.
first thing I did, it was after St. Patty's Day. I got shit hammered on St. Patty's Day, and then woke up Sunday morning. Left my phone and pen in an Uber. And then, but
Jeez.
I still like my dad came down, my little brother who was still living in Indiana, and he was going to IUP for graphic design.
Okay.
But when the business started taking off, and I was literally there by myself. For anyone that pulled up to my shop,
It was just you.
Like April until August or July, it was like literally just me.
Now,
the
were you
entire
get-
Supreme team pulled up, and it was just me.
Really?
Kel, Sage Elser, Aiden Mackey, they were going to One Up.
Wow.
I didn't get a picture of anything. I wasn't able to document it at all, but it was
It's all right.
fucking sick. Like, yeah, that's not what it's all about.
no, I get it though.
I was
A
in the
picture is
moment.
dope,
I didn't
though.
want to. Like,
Yeah. That's hard, dude. That's a hard.
yeah, but
You're in
so
a
that's
hard
like a
position
side
right there.
note, yo.
You're like, bro, like I fuck with you, but like I know I
I was
know
like,
I
yo,
need
you're
to be
knock,
here.
right? And that was like before. That was before mid '90s.
Yeah, mid-90s and
It was,
everything.
like July, but
Wow.
so
One Up loves. Hey, yo, shout out One Up. Crazy.
They're the best. Neighbors.
Mad respect.
They're the best neighbors.
Yeah,
ever.
it's like you guys got to be so good for each other.
They're the homies. I really hope I am for them.
Oh, he shouted you out 5 times on here,
Word.
Brandon.
That is the homie, dude. I was literally I was at the
100%,
shop
dude.
doing like staining this wood for the shoes, and then we're making some like big changes at the store. In the meantime, I'm opening a barbershop upstairs.
Oh yeah.
We're moving the counter, putting another little counter in to buy separately because it gets a little hectic.
Yeah.
Turning the back room into strictly a stock room, moving offices upstairs, all types of shit. So that's why, like, Monday's my only day closed.
Yeah.
And with everything else within the business, it's like Mondays usually I
you
like
need a
to
day
just
off,
like
dude.
recharge. But now it's grind. It's also grind time.
So on Mondays you're working.
Well, yeah, but not like once the store's open at 12 on a weekday. There's no looking back. Like it's people pull up all day.
Yeah,
whether
so,
it's buying's a lot of like the hectic.
I'm sure it is.
Stuff.
People are trying to sell some shit.
Yeah, we have to buy a lot.
Now, whenever you first opened there, April, like, did people already know about you from your Instagram, or did it take a little bit?
I think I had 3,000 followers.
Damn,
So
you did pretty good in a year.
I was really heavy on like the social media because I didn't have the store. I was posting. I was like doing all the hashtags and like it wasn't. I had a good following, but a lot of it wasn't like maybe not the city. Like the city, it was solid. Just from being around a little bit, but not really though. And I kind of like that because I'm not from Pittsburgh. People don't really know me. I didn't have like a clique or anything like that. It was just like I'm here.
That's what was surprising to me. It's like you opened the store and you came up out of nowhere, and it's like being down Threads all them years and like knowing the people that I do.
A lot of the same.
Yeah, like I met so many people and like I didn't know who you guys were, and I was like, where is this coming from? But I see all these people fucking with Yinz heavy, and the first time I went in there, it's like I feel like you could tell a lot from people from their store. So like the first time I went in there, it's like you see all the real shit you have in there, and like I looked at your prices first off because it's like some places it's like you're waxing people, you're in it for the wrong shit.
That was my thing. I hated when I would go to a store and feel that way.
So because as soon as you walk in, you're like, I don't even want to buy anything here because this is just outlandish. Like it's a ridiculous price. But you guys like. I mean, I fuck with like the realistic vibe in there. It's like you always got like cool shit going on. You guys are always like, real welcoming, and like the prices are they're legit. They're fair. Right. That's the main thing. They're fair.
Yeah. No, I just really appreciate anyone that like. I really genuinely appreciate anyone that supports the store, and I don't want people to go there and buy something just to buy something.
Yeah.
Like I hate that. I mean. I wouldn't want people to feel that way, but it's like I don't know. I definitely appreciate everyone's support, and I mean I wanted it to be somewhere that like would be comfortable for people, and like if I'm gonna be there, all of my like
you want to be you want to enjoy it.
This junior high or high school kid. Younger dude, like early high school, junior high, came in and was like, "Man, this looks like a big ass bedroom." And I was like, "Yo, that's honestly the best compliment I've ever got."
Yeah, that's a good point. It does. It looks like a big bedroom, but like it's like it's not like fluff shit. Like there's dope ass shit all around, like posters, everything, and it's nostalgic. So I feel like that's another level of like it being welcoming instead of it just being like all white walls with like minimalistic. Like I get that. Like
I do like those. I often think
I get it. Everything is minimalistic now, and it looks nice. It looks clean. Like you ever been to Ubik in Philly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, all that shit is all minimalistic, and it looks dope. It's appealing to the eye, but, like, it's also dope to be able to go in and, like, see a whole shelf full of, like, old-ass, like, bottles and fucking cereal boxes.
That was, like, the flea market in me. Like,
yeah, exactly. And that's the vibe, and, like, I grew up on that shit, too. Like, my dad, that's how I kind of, like, became the talkative person that I was. It's like, my mom worked all the time. My dad would always take me to flea markets, garage sales, and like you're always just like bartering and like haggling with these old ass dudes. So it all came from there. I grew up in a fucking garage with his friends, so I was able to always talk to these people, and like it being a welcoming spot, and like you guys all being cool. You got your fucking dog in there, and like that's so
shout
dope.
out the big homie Frankie.
Yeah, like that dog is sick.
Dude, he holds me down. I didn't get him until like September.
Oh yeah, he's that recent.
Yeah. I never felt responsible enough for a dog, but
That makes sense.
I've always been a dog person. I grew up with a couple dogs, an English bulldog named Biggie, and I named him
That's
when I was
dope.
in like 8th grade after Biggie.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I was really into music. I had all, you know what I mean?
He's a good shop dog.
Yeah,
Like
Frankie
he's not
his full name's Frank White, which is an
yeah,
ode
Frank
to Biggie,
White. Yeah, I know.
which is an ode to Biggie. But he did end up being a great shop dog. It came to the point where I was there so much, and I felt like I needed like just a little
Another
buddy.
being in there.
Yeah, like
And that makes sense for sure. Now, I'm curious, like, how do you keep the disconnect between you just selling, like, I get, you have good taste, so you obviously pick some dope shit, but, like, there's other things that you need to appeal
right.
to people. Like, how do you tread that line and still be considered, like, authentic?
Yeah, that's a hard question. Honestly, I guess I try not to, like, think too hard into it, but I'm really particular about like how the shop is portrayed on the Instagram and like what items I put up on my page versus what I put on my story daily. I put a lot on my story daily because I don't want to flood people. We get so much stuff, it's nearly impossible to get everything out without flooding the grant. Like,
how many postings do a day?
3 to 6.
Yeah, it's like,
If it's not 3, it's 6.
yeah, because you have to have that 3.
I like to. I like to.
I get it
I
because you keep
try.
that template.
I don't let it be too. Some days I just let it go.
Yeah, but I notice that you have a template. It's like one row will be clothing, shoe, clothing, and then one row will be shoe, clothing, shoe.
I try.
It's like,
I've been doing that since before I opened the store.
believe me, dude, I respect all that shit. Like, I see that stuff. You look at my Instagram, it's nice.
There's
it's
a whiteboard
uniform.
in the back of my store, and I get there in the morning and I look at everything and I just like kind of take it in, and then I start formulating shit. That's what I call it, like formulating like outfits, posts, whatever.
Now, you plan shit out ahead of time?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I found that it makes my day a little less stressful if I do. So I have like my 3 to 6 boxes, and I kind of like, I'll jot something down, and then I'll jot the prices down because it gets really busy. I do the buying, the posting, everything within that day.
It's probably hard to keep
And I
track
hate
of
getting
it
like
all.
knocked off my. I hate getting knocked off track.
Yeah.
For like what my goal was that day for the Instagram, and I guess that ties back to like what I post. I mix it up. Like I won't just post like Supreme. You know what I mean? I'll make sure that it's a mix of what I have. Like I'll throw some vintage Pittsburgh shit up. I'll throw, a Supreme piece up here and there, but I like new age, newer streetwear brands. That are more low key, because that's part of, I've liked Supreme for years. I haven't really got excited about any of the new shit aside from, that's where I draw the line. That's where I draw down too.
Because I ask anyone that's in like that world, like, Top Gun, Beckham, any of them dudes, anyone that's in that world that like has a toe in Supreme, but has a toe in all this shit, I get deep into it because
Top Gun is a versatile dude. You'll see him in Supreme, but he wears some of the wildest shit.
Yeah, he's the wild. That's what when in our interview, I told him my first exposure, he was wearing a Supreme shirt and he was wearing them pink camo Rage Club cargos, and
Shout out Rage Club.
It was like he was visually, he made an impact because like, he didn't give a fuck what he was wearing, and like I respect that. But as far as like Supreme, now that you brought that up, I'm curious what you think about it. Like, for you being a businessman, it's a very good business tool.
Yeah.
But in your personal opinion, no business feelings in it. Like, what do you think about Supreme?
So, drop by drop, I keep like, I don't know. I like, it's another thing I don't dwell too hard on. But I do wish that like everybody who bought a Supreme piece just knew a little bit about maybe that specific piece.
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot of like, I don't know. I'm not as much of a hypebeast store.
Yeah.
It's there and I get them, but I personally don't want to be dealing with those type of people all day even. So like that, it's a balance.
I get what you're saying for sure. Because there's a lot of the people that like don't give a fuck about it at all that are just like, yo, let me get that headband.
I think the whole idea of like resale being like a way to make a living blows like some older people's minds, like parents that are in the store.
Oh my
Even
God.
my own parents, like before they really came down on a Saturday and was like, holy shit, like this is crazy, you know? And like sales, obviously, just proving that it's a business.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I guess it may have lost some of its like.
Did you see that Supreme Copies book?
Oh, hell yeah, yeah.
No.
I mean, dude, I've been following Supreme Copies Instagram for years, and
Now, what do you think about that, though?
I've
Like,
more so found vintage pieces that they copied that I, you know, that was like, oh, what? Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
I feel
inspiration
like
from them.
That's almost, I don't like that. I mean, I can't, but that's another thing where I won't put too much energy into it. I like people being original. I guess you have to, everything draws inspiration from something.
Yeah.
But direct copies is kind of whack.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like, you know, I first started disliking Supreme just because they never made anything in 2X.
like original. Oh, well, that too.
Yeah, it's like, so fuck yins.
Like,
Like, you
what's
know what
up
I
with
mean?
that?
It's like, I couldn't wear anything.
It's
and like,
rare as fuck. Seeing a 2X, I've only seen a few things.
Yeah, a few things from back in the day. And that's what that, you know, that Hank Style
They
dude?
go for crazy.
Yeah, like, I asked him because he always posts all that shit. And I'm just like,
He's real knowledgeable, dude. That's like,
yeah,
I'm
talking to him on here soon. I've been in his DMs.
Word.
I'm curious because like he's
a cool dude to talk to too.
Yeah, he seems to be someone that will educate you in what it is. But
no, he definitely knows his shit.
The Supreme shit though, like I don't like. You know, basically Supreme built their name up where you could literally copy the exact same thing off of another brand and just sell it. Like I saw a meme the other day. It was like that wolf zip up that they came out with.
Yeah.
That's like a gas station Indian store.
It is. They had an eagle one before.
Yeah.
Too. And I mean, yeah, it's like a what the fuck are those jackets? It's a alpaca wool.
Perka or
alpaca wool.
Yeah, alpaca.
One
Sherpa or something.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, literally everything.
It's nuts though. But some shit though, like I still look at their accessories and I'm still like, it's fucking dope. Like that, that Cupid stabbing the heart. Like that statue was so sick, but the fact that it was only like 12 inches tall by 6 inches in circumference, like that little statue, they wanted 4 racks for it.
Makes no sense.
It's like, come on.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Make it accessible to people.
Make it accessible.
And I guess that's what they're doing, you know?
Yeah.
Like they're so popular that they're just making, well, that's not accessible, but they're making the general shit, like the t-shirts and everything.
They're
There's
definitely
no money
upping-
on that. Like anyone who brings me a Supreme t-shirt
Yeah.
is expecting to get retail or maybe even a little less. Unless it was a t-shirt that was like a little sought after. Yeah, like that's, but to me even, I don't know. I don't really get that hyped off of it. I like when people bring in older pieces and
like Grail piece and shit.
Yeah, that's more so where I like it. But I mean, it's kind of like I have a section that is Yeezys and Supreme, and it brings people in that spend money. There's cool shit in there, you know. There's people that like to mix that with the vintage, which I think is cool, and I encourage that.
Yeah.
To like some of the people that come in and are only into designer and only into like hype shit, but it's like, yo, you can mix it up with this vintage t-shirt that has wild colors on it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that's more so that's what I like.
Now
is mixing it.
Now Supreme, since they like sold like half of the company pretty much to them investors, like they definitely bumped up their fucking releases. They had to have, because shit back then you would I still look at the drops like almost every Thursday just to see what sells out and how quick.
So fast.
But like a lot of shit isn't selling out real quick.
True. No, yeah, you're right. The things that when I do pay attention to it, and I'm trying to get something that I want,
like the chairs and shit like that, those are gone.
Right.
But
the bags sat on there for a week. Like it's
and I don't think it's the fact that people ain't buying the shit anymore. I think it's just because they're bumping up like
pricing.
Inventory.
Oh yeah. Oh, like how much they have.
Yeah, how much they make.
That's
because like they were sought after for so long because they kept the same amount of release for like each of them shirts. But like
now,
they're definitely bumping that shit up.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, do you think that will take away from their brand in a whole, or do you think that their brand is established and will be there forever?
I mean, I don't know. It's not the same anymore.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Like,
do you see a difference in like what people are selling, what people are wanting?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, and the people bringing it in.
Yeah.
Like you can tell when someone's selling Supreme that like if it's a kid or if they just got into it.
Yeah.
Because they'll come with a t-shirt that's not worth anything. And then you know that person, if they copped it on Supreme thinking they were going to get resale, that they really don't know.
Yeah, they just rushed and bought one and just fucking got it.
I mean, there's that.
What's like the most sought after, what's like the biggest Grail piece you've had in
Supreme
so far?
wise?
Yeah, Supreme wise.
I had a couple of the North Face collabs that were real expensive.
Yeah.
A couple of box logos that were expensive as well. Shit, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it's
What was the
interesting.
most expensive.
It's definitely wild.
A couple of the North Face Supreme pieces though.
I saw that you just sold that Gore-Tex one.
Yeah, that sold quick.
Shout out Jeff.
Yo, Jeff's the homie.
Oh
yeah, he takes pictures of Threads, dude.
Yeah,
He's cool as hell. He's one of
That's
the
all
people,
because I hit him up. It's like
Yeah.
I told the dude at Threads, I was like, fucking check him out.
Oh, dude,
like his product picks are the meanest. Like there ain't no one in Pittsburgh doing better shit than what he's doing.
And
right
he's
now.
just a cool dude. Like he pulled up on me when I first opened.
Yeah.
And he was one of the first people that like brought me a hockey bag of vintage t-shirts.
Bro, if you look at him though, you will never know.
No,
but
and
then
he's
you
cool as hell.
then you look at some of the shit that he has. Like he'll rarely post.
Low key the dopest off white collection, and he's sold a lot of it. But he
Bro,
has
Vans even. He got
crazy Vans.
crazy.
He's given me pieces, personal pieces. Like he's awesome.
his fucking room looks like a store.
Yeah.
He
He
got
just
racks
built
and
this
shit
new
like
shit
that.
too, and it's really cool.
And he's been a part of like he's been around our friend group for a long time. Like he's been doing dope shit since back in the day. Like he had a brand back in the day called Faith Free Clothing that was like it was like real edgy and shit like that, like no gods, no kings and shit like that. But I remember that was like my first exposure to him. Like he made his own clothes, but like he was always like doing wild shit, like, and he was dope as fuck behind the
I only
camera.
knew him as Die Cold for a minute.
Die cold.
I
That's
only knew him
exactly
as,
it.
but then it was
and
like
then you only see them few pictures he posts, but
Yeah.
like you could tell that dude, he has an appreciation of all that shit.
Yeah.
And but his photos are dope. But that
For
Supreme,
sure.
the Supreme shit is interesting to see, like what people like would roll into Threads wearing, and
Yeah.
like you would always see people wearing headbands and shit like that. It's fucking it's weird.
I mean, it's another thing that the first Supreme piece I bought, like I said, and I didn't always have the money to buy that, was
Yeah.
like 2014. It was a Champion Supreme hockey jersey.
Okay.
And I just, like, another thing, I love collaborations. And like some of the first times I saw Supreme, I skated, but even for me, I mean, I always knew it was a skate brand, but I remember seeing like A$AP Rocky in the Peso video
Yeah.
in 2011 wearing the cheetah towel that comes in this like magazine with Jizza on the front. And he was also wearing like the North Face Supreme
Yeah.
cheetah like down jacket, and just seeing it kind of like mixed in. And I've always loved, I mean, ice cream was huge for me.
Yeah.
That was like, I've always loved
Because of
hip-hop.
skating, though?
Yeah, I was skating, hip hop,
hip-hop,
the
I
clothing.
guess, yeah.
That was like, I always loved Jay-Z. I was a fan of Kanye. I found out about Kanye from Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Like College Dropout's my shit. And then like that's how I became a fan of Pharrell. And I remember Drop It Like It's Hot by Snoop Dogg was like one of my favorite songs and videos like ever. I'd stand in front of the TV and just be like, wow.
So
And
gassed
he had the
up.
ice creams on. Yeah, he's like, you see these, whatever. And just seeing ice cream and then like finding out about Terry Kennedy and just them mixing all of that
my
together.
fucking boy.
Yeah, dude, that was like really what
Put the
made
B in
it
the
so
box.
cool to me. Like that was
Yeah, Terry Kennedy and pretty much any one of the Baker people, like anyone that was affiliated with Baker, like that was probably Baker was 100% like the skate group that we always followed, like always watching all that shit, always seeing it all.
I was big into Almost.
Yeah.
I loved Rodney Mullen.
Oh my god,
Like-
I talked about this to I don't even know who I just talked. That was my favorite skateboarder of all time. Oh, the
Primos and Remos, dude. Like when we
Dude.
would play skate, my older brother, I was like part of the film crew, like Razor Film Crew. We called ourselves. Like we had our Razor flip phones,
Yeah.
and we would like just go out and get clips of whatever it was, and dumb shit, and like mixing music and like a scene of like something being lit on fire.
Yeah.
but then like right back to
typical skate,
whatever. Yeah,
typical skate video.
exactly. And like I was big in snowboarding too, and like honestly, some of the snowboarding videos I was
Oh,
into,
they're super mean.
yeah, like Lucas Magoo and Tech Nine was this crew that would get like really dope rap songs and
Rodney
be wearing
Mullen,
dope
though,
shit.
dude. He, my exposure was, I mean, Tony Hawk for N64, them like little cut videos that they had, and he's on that circle concrete pad doing them like Caspers and like all them fucking like pogo stands and shit like that.
Hell yeah.
Like he was so fucking insane, and
Just doing shit that I didn't know was possible with a skateboard.
yeah, no one knew it was
And then
possible.
like Sheckler was on the,
Yeah,
and like for me, I was like 12, 13 and just felt like that was like relatable. I was like,
Yeah.
this is the coolest shit. But
Now, in your time of having this store and shit like that, like I want to know. I'm curious about a few things. So, like, what is your favorite sneaker of all time?
that's a good question.
Now, I could split it up if you'd like, because like I love skateboarding. Like, if you want to split favorite skate shoe of all time. And your favorite, and I'll classify ice cream and shit like that under a skate shoe,
Okay.
and then whatever you want to call
Yeah.
anything else.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I like a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm sure you
I
do.
have
I mean,
a
like,
lot of different collections.
you see all the, like, I see all the different shit that you wear. So
Yeah.
like you have a good taste in a lot of shit. So I'm curious what your favorites are.
Try to appreciate that. Shit. So when I opened the store, I went on a big one kick, like just getting all of the ones that I thought were dope
Yeah.
that I couldn't have.
Well, like, what were your favorites?
The Bam Breads.
Yeah.
I still don't have the shattered backboards.
Those are what I want. Those are
Yeah.
the only ones that I
I have
want.
the reverse shattered backboards,
They ain't
but not
that
like
sick compared to the other ones.
No, not at all, dude. But and I'm a bargain shopper. Like all of them, I've gotten for like good deals. You
I
know?
ain't spending $650 on a pair of shattered
Right.
backwards.
No. Well, I mean, I might. But that's only because of the
He said,
situation I'm in right now.
Yeah.
Before, hell no.
Yeah.
I've always had too many shoes, but I've always been one to like rock, Vans, New Balances, J's,
Yeah. You've always
maybe a
wore
pair.
Jordans and shit?
Here and there. Like threes have been my shit. Like
Okay.
the three was what really got me into Jordans. Before I'll say Vans. I always keep just like a classic pair of black Vans.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I wear is Vans.
Yeah.
It's like randomly I'll pull out, like, I've had the same 2 pair of ice creams since fucking 9th grade. I got them from Discount Champs, both pair.
Yeah.
And I'll break out a pair of heaters every once in a while, but it's usually just black classic Vans.
Yeah, true, exactly. You can't go wrong with that. And
Nothing.
So we're on the topic of skate shoes. Always fucked with Vans. I
Yeah.
always thought Lords of Dogtown was really fucking cool.
Oh,
Jay
yeah.
Adams,
For sure.
like, you know what I mean? Tony Alva, just that style. And that's why I had like long hair and always wanted to do like the beach thing.
Yeah.
But I will say ice creams was something that I didn't have back then, but wanted so bad.
All the time.
And I've been looking for them on eBay for like the last 4 years probably.
Yeah, I look all the time. They're
Someone
hard to find
came
still.
through with the board flips in like the blue, purple, and yellow in my size, which is an 11.
Oh,
Like
yeah?
last week, and I literally geeked the fuck out. They found them at a Goodwill for $6. I gave them $60 and was like, I'm
Those are
planning.
your
I'm already
personals
planning
now.
a fit, dude. I was so fucking hyped. Like they're a little beat up, is whatever, but I was really geeked on that. So I finally have a pair of those. I like TNs.
Yeah.
Like tuned airs. Like,
Yeah.
They have like a gradient. A lot of them have like gradient on them. Like that sunset, they go from like an orange to yellow to like yellow to like darker orange.
Okay.
So in the sun, when I'm wearing shorts, I like to wear those.
Yeah.
I think 97s, like Silver Bullet was a shoe I always wanted.
That makes sense.
Finally got those.
Nikes are weird to me though. Like I can
I don't wear Adidas, and I don't have anything against Adidas, but I own 2 pairs of Yeezys, the Wave Runners, the OG 700s,
those ones were all right for sure.
and then the Inertias that just came out with the little like peach 700. I don't know if I'll keep those for long. But those
They're
are
the all
only
peach
2 Adidas.
ones?
They're like a gray, different tones of gray, and then in that little like circle on the sole,
Okay.
like the Wave Runner's orange,
Yeah.
it's like a peach color.
Okay.
So I bought them because I was like, I have a couple like vintage pieces.
Yeah,
that
things
have
to link
peach in
with 'em.
that I would, yeah. So we'll say as far as Yeezys go, really the only one I like is like the 700s. I don't wear like that sock type material.
Yeah.
Like the 350s. it doesn't work for me. The pants I wear don't look good with it.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
It's, I don't know.
It's like, I get it. Like the Balenciaga socks and shit like that. It's like,
Little too athletic looking for me. I'm not as much of an athletic, like...
I mean, you have to wear
Type
skin
dude.
tight pants for them to look normal, really.
Yeah, right,
It's like-
exactly. Like, I'd have to get whole ass new pants. Like, I just wear Levi's.
Yeah.
Like, my pants, I keep pretty just normal.
Neutral.
Yeah, like I'll wear like a wild vintage t-shirt.
I'll buy
and some nice
two of
sneakers.
the same pair of jeans. Like these are Scotch and soda pants, and like they're the most comfortable ones that I found. I bought two of the same pair, and like
Just
I wear
run.
them until they just get destroyed, and
Dude,
I'll buy
denim
two
just
more.
gets better every time though.
They do.
Like thrifting
Denim,
and going through shit. I really like a nice like washed denim.
But like you can tell the quality if you're spending money on denim.
For
like
sure.
you could definitely tell from like that from like a $50 pair of Levi's from
Starchy
fucking
ass like
yeah, and even the cuts and the fits, like all the denim now is made with like the elastic in it and shit like that,
Right,
so it's
that,
all
like-
comfortable.
Yeah.
But now as far as like so, I mean, I feel like
I really like the Waterspoons. Not even because I'm a like Sean Waterspoon super fan or some
Yeah.
shit. Like I love corduroy.
yeah, I love
and
corduroy.
I love 97s.
I'm
and
not
I
a fan of that
love,
colorway.
Like, you don't like the colorway?
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of it.
I really
I think I'm
Light
the only person
blue.
in the world that doesn't. You know, I
That's
fuck
what they-
with what he does.
Yeah.
I would fuck with him if they were like a bit, but I don't wear any crazy colors. The
Yeah.
craziest colors I have are them fucking them ice creams,
Yeah,
and
that's
then I have
the
a
thing I
pair
do.
of. I have
So
these
that's-
I mean, like I don't wear crazy color shoes.
Yeah,
I have
right,
crazy color fucking shirts and everything.
True.
But like the craziest shit I have is some like Osiris D3s and shit. I just
True,
bought some. They
Osiris
just
are hard, fuck yeah.
them D3s. You know what those are?
The
Them big ass ones where they're huge shoes with the reflectors around the sides.
super bulky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like ASAP Rocky just did an Under Armour.
Yeah,
shoe
they
that
look just
worked
like
exactly that. Yeah,
Weak
yeah, for
as
sure.
fuck.
I mean, I used to wear Etnies, dude. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I
Everyone
ran a
did.
couple pairs of Etnies. I did actually skate in like I even back then, and I didn't even think much about it. I used to skate Blazers like here and there.
Yeah.
And they aren't good for that either.
I do love the Off-White. I don't like everything Off-White does, but I love the Off-White Blazers.
Yeah, both of them are hard.
Yeah, I
They
love
represent
them
how
both.
LSU.
Those are dope for sure, and I do like the ones. Like
The Chicago's,
yeah,
and the UNC's, yeah,
they're hard.
True,
They're
for sure.
definitely hard, but like
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Prestos, and like like I would never in my life buy them Prestos or them Air Maxes, but that's
Right.
just me. Like I'm not an
Yeah.
Air Max guy because
Or like Vapor
Nike
Max.
is so thin.
Yeah,
It's like my feet are wide, so like I've
just
had
doesn't work. It just doesn't.
yeah,
add
it
up.
doesn't work for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
It's like I wanted it to for a
Yeah.
long time, but I'm just over it now.
I will say I have like recently been on a one kick. Like I have them all displayed on like a big cube type
Yeah.
thing, and they just look really nice together.
They really
When you
do.
go from, and I mean, just the history of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Classic
you know what I mean?
shoe.
Gone skating them back in the. I mean, they went on sale. People would skate them. You know, everything with Jordan
Yeah,
being the first shoe that kind of like that he did with Nike. And,
absolutely.
and the threes, like I said, I got a pair of white cement threes for $50 at Plato's in 2013, and it just like I was so geeked.
Yeah,
And I
$50
never
is
forgot that
crazy.
feeling. Yeah, like with the OG box with like the retro card and everything.
Yeah,
I
that's
just, like,
dope for
The whole
sure.
package, I was like, this is, then I started getting a little more into it, as much as I could afford.
Yeah.
But I lived at the beach and shit too, so I wear a lot of Vans.
makes sense.
Vans are always
Now, what
for
about
sure.
what about like what about actual like piece of clothing? Like, what's your favorite that you own? Like your personal like grail piece.
Dude, this is one of my favorite shirts.
That shirt right
Sometimes
there?
I wear it. It's like my lucky. It's like one of my lucky shirts. So
That's
I
your
was-
favorite? That's what's
Dude,
up, though.
This event is crazy, and
can't
I
beat
chased
that.
it down. Like I hunted it on the internet for so long to get it for less than like $200.
Yeah.
I got it on eBay for $70, like in 2016. And
Wow.
it's the Bash at the Beach.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan and Rodman.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman.
Versus
That's my boy.
DDP and Karl Malone.
Dennis Rodman, that's the only jersey that I have and I still wear.
Really? The
I wear
Black Bulls?
black
91?
paint stripe.
Yep, me too.
Yep, that's my shit for sure.
Hell yeah.
I
And
bought
that's-
one years ago on eBay. It was a red one though, but I bought it and it was way too big, so it was like down to my fucking knees.
Yeah.
But this one's dope. I fuck with them.
No, I really love like a vintage T-shirt that tells a story
Absolutely.
and would be nostalgic. Like my T-shirts, I have an absurd amount of t-shirts, and hopefully with upstairs I'll have a little more free space to like do some displays and shit like that.
Yeah.
But my closet kind of goes from like vintage Pittsburgh things. I love the character tees.
Yeah.
Like the old school
Yeah,
cartoon
like the
drawings.
cartoon drawings.
Like, I think they should do that again and somehow make it dope.
Like a current
not tacky
format.
But and different, just like one-off yinzer shit. That's what I really like. And the Looney Tunes, like different collabs, like how Looney Tunes collabs with Space Jam. There's all these Pittsburgh tees.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, I'm in Pittsburgh. I'm a yinzer. No one else is going to be really that excited about those pieces. So
yeah.
I have a wild Looney Tunes Pittsburgh collection. I love that shit. Then it goes to like just Looney Tunes in general, and then goes to like wild NASCAR and Harley tees.
You fuck with them?
Mostly just the prints, dude. I wasn't really into NASCAR.
Yeah.
My dad did ride a Harley, so like that's nostalgic for me.
For sure.
But I fell in love with the designs, just the all over prints and the colors, and just like
that makes sense. Like like the bold tees from
Right.
back in the day. Now, what about like not as far as your favorite, but like what is the most hype shit that you see coming through the store? Like what is the most sought after? What is like
what sells quick to
what's banging right now?
People. So even I hear a lot of people are saying that Supreme is played out.
Yeah.
And I mean, do I think they'll probably be successful forever? I don't know. I can't predict that.
100%. I feel like
I respect
they will.
them as business for sure. A lot of people that come to my store want to be wearing something that no one else has on.
Absolutely.
And like that's how I am with the vintage shit though.
Yeah.
Like I have vintage tees that I know other people probably don't have, and not that I want to be like I don't want to be seen wearing shit that people, but it's just cool to be original and have like some
shit
you
that
personally
no
think
one
is dope.
has.
But as far as like hype shit that's selling quick, I mean a lot of the Off-White is V-Lone.
Yeah.
V-Lone in Pittsburgh is just not as accessible.
Really?
He sells it in pop-ups. Like ASAP Bari does pop-ups, and I mean he's on the West Coast, he's in New York, he drops down to Atlanta, shit like that, but it's just not as accessible. There isn't a V-Lone store, so
I guess it's not released as much as
right. So people that get their hands on it, they're either buying it online, they're buying it when they're at a pop-up or in LA at a resale store or whatever. So I mean that shit sells quick. Trying to think what else.
What about as far as vintage, like as far as like the subculture of vintage, like NASCAR, wrestling, like cartoon?
That stuff's like the NASCAR.
I feel like I see so many people wearing NASCAR
It's
shit.
getting a little more like, a lot of people are doing that now.
I saw some dude in the illest Dale Earnhardt shirt, remembrance shirt. It was a memorial. It looked like like one of them old hip hop memorial shirts, but it was
that's
just
the thing. They look like rap
sick.
tees. That's why I love them. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like, my buddy told me there was a podcast where one of the recent NASCAR drivers is talking about that.
Really?
I don't remember. Like, honestly, I don't watch a whole lot of TV. I don't really listen to podcasts. I'm like, I relax when I can, but I'm really just like, ever since I dove into like what I'm doing, I'm just obsessed with like just building and
Absolutely.
kind of, like
Progressing what you're doing.
Right. But I like to listen to podcasts. I listened to a couple. I didn't make it the whole way through any of the I'll Call You Right Backs, to be honest.
That's all right.
I listened to a little bit of Brandon's, a little bit of Top Guns, a little bit of Keep Pittsburgh Dope, the homie Chance.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
understandable. They're busy people. Like
That's
my
the thing.
podcasts
I'll
are
just
2
get
hours
sidetracked.
long.
Like I started Brandon's. I got pretty far through. I think I made it till like 30 minutes left or 20 minutes left. Something. And his was like 2+ hours. But a lot of the time, it's like I'm at work all the time.
I get it, dude.
And I get home and then I can't even make it through a TV show.
I get it. I get it. There's no reason to explain
and I watch
it.
a lot of funny shit. Like you messaged me about Austin Powers the one time.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Like I don't watch a whole lot of like serious shit, and I don't get into TV shows. I can count on my hand the amount of like series that really pulled me in. Like the first True Detective.
Oh man,
Breaking Bad.
Did you watch the 3rd season of True Detective?
Dude, I started to, and that was another one where I just fell off. And that's my problem. Is I don't know. It takes.
I mean, the 3rd one is worth
It was
a watch.
cool. It was
worth a
cool.
watch.
but it's
Ending
more
was
so
trash,
like
kinda.
the hour-long episodes that get me. Like I'm more of like a
You want a snackable size,
Cartoon,
20
yeah,
minutes,
exactly,
25 minutes.
right.
You know, like you're on an hour-long car ride. That's 2 episodes of fucking Rocket Power and shit. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Exactly.
That's how I used to measure shit back in the day.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's interesting. I'm sure you see all different types of people coming through that store, and you see all different types of people that. Now, do you ever have any negative experiences in there with you? Like, now this is another thing now that I just thought about it. Whenever I was in there the other day, someone was selling something to you, and like you guys have a chart that yins are looking at prices on. Where do you get your prices from?
So our prices, and I wish that I could invent. That's a bulk of our time is comparing prices online, comparing prices that have actually sold. So there, you can go on eBay and look at filter like what sold.
Yeah, what it's actually
and the
sold.
date that it sold. Same with Grailed. We just look at eBay, Grailed, any online.
Kind of get an average.
Right. And that's like what Plato's wasn't doing. They were just guessing. So it's like it's a progression. Like this, you can at least get the person.
Yeah.
A accurate offer.
Yeah.
So that, they're not getting screwed because it's so easy nowadays to sell shit yourself.
Absolutely.
StockX, Grailed. It's not that easy, but it is way more easy than it's ever been.
I mean, you could do it on Instagram.
Exactly.
People
Yeah.
just
If you
DM
really
you.
want to. So that's why
Now,
the
what
numbers I pull are from past experience and then other sales online.
that makes sense, though. It's like, I'm sure it'll change in time, like whatever's hot, what's trending and shit like that.
Yeah.
What about pieces that you buy that you have to sit on that are like big pieces? Like I seen you guys did them, you had them Louis V headphones.
Oh, yeah.
And
so
like-
those were actually on consignment.
Oh, okay.
Certain things that are a lot of money,
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, let me post this for you there and there. So I feel like I've gotten a little better at like pulling the trigger on things.
Well, that's cool.
But it's
though.
just like I said, it's a daily thing. And that is where negative experiences might come because I want everyone to have a good experience coming in.
Yeah.
But it's hard to tell people that. I mean, but when it comes down to though, it's like I can't sell it. That's it. Like, it's not personal. There's no.
It's just, it's
I
not
don't
going
want
to be
it
able to sell here.
Yeah, and that's just a business move. And I've had to tell people that, and I try to be reasonable with people, but definitely, I feel like any negative experiences that come up have to do with like
You turning down people.
exactly, and people
makes
have gotten
sense.
like fit in our face, threatened us.
Really?
Like, yes, and it's. I'm like, dude, I just want to come in here,
I
go to work, and go about my day, dude. Like, and then on days like that, I go and buy another camera, and I up my security, and like, it sucks. And the first few months when I opened, like, I was still getting my security up to date, and I wasn't sleeping at night. Like, I was like, my girl,
sure.
like, I was waking up and like,
Yeah, I
night
mean, you have
terrors type
fucking
of shit. Yeah.
so much money worth of shit in your fucking store.
Was not sleeping that well, but now it's like I have my security, I have all of my insurance up.
Have you ever
I
had
have
anything to
multiple
worry about
cameras.
with that?
I've had a couple people steal. I've gotten scammed before, but it's just like anything else. Dude,
How do you even do that? How do you get scammed?
So credit card scammers know this, but I did not, and my bank didn't tell me that. It's not something that it's like, hey, when you open a business, don't run payments. You really everything I've learned has been like from taking an L. You know? Like, and that's just with
absolutely that's how
anything,
you
like,
learn.
Yeah, and so if there's a credit card that has a chip, you can only run that with a chip. If you manually enter that credit card in, it's not protected. And so scammers will know that, and they'll scratch the chip off.
Oh shit!
So that you have to manually enter it.
Damn.
So once you manually enter that, the bank says because of how it was entered, there's nothing we can do.
Oh,
so now I have to
man.
go to court. And like, luckily the dude came back in, and I knew exactly who it was. And there's like a whole gang of them. I don't know. They go to everywhere else probably.
I swear to God, there's people that did the same shit at Threads.
And it's but dude, the thing for me is Zeds, and that bank account that goes to is my fucking personal bank account. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is me. So you are directly robbing me. Like that's
Yeah.
It's not
That's
like you're
fucked
stealing
up.
from Nordstrom. You know what I mean? And it was $2,000, dude. So it's like I'm still really fighting that. I'm have to go to court with this dude, and
That's
he came
fucked
back
up.
in, and I went back in the room and called the cops, and they came, and he was using a fake ID, all types of shit. Just shit that I didn't know, but you just got to handle and learn from, and just keep moving.
Yeah, dude.
So,
I'm sure you got to deal
and we
with
got
some
shit stolen. You know, people try to steal shit, and we just figure out ways to like not have anything out.
Yeah.
Pretty much, you know. It's been a process every day.
Always going to be pieces of shit.
Yeah. There's a
Always.
good percentage. Some days I leave there feeling like that, but like a lot of the time, a good percentage of like people that come in and rock with us is like good people.
That's dope, dude. I see you got a big ass following. Like big name people are fucking with you. I see fucking Geiger fucks with you,
dude. It's
like,
just like everyone's just normal people. That's
Yeah.
what I've come to learn. Anyone that's come in.
I mean, it got to be a good feeling though to know that like real people like that, like are supporting the things that you're doing. It's like it's validating that what you're doing is organic and authentic.
Yeah.
To people that are doing big shit like that.
True.
And that's a good feeling.
Yeah, dude, no, I will say the first time I met Geiger, I was hyped. Like he came in the store. I actually ended up cutting his hair and cutting Sean Davis, his partner's hair as well, and just like chopping it up. Like his mom sat in the chair and was playing with my dog, and
That's
we were just
dope,
bullshitting.
dude.
And that's it's stuff like that that does make you realize that the people that are successful
Are real
are just
people.
normal ass people. And like James Conner, like I've got to hang out with him a handful of times. And
Yeah, I've seen him
dude,
post. Yeah.
it's like it sucks. Like I wish he could go in public and be treated like a normal person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People
it's
are probably
like,
just flocking
they don't know how
on
to
him all the
act.
time.
It's crazy, and
See,
that's more so. And every time I see something like that, I take a note, and it's like everyone needs to be treated like equally.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people ruin it for other people. Like, I would love to talk to people like, I would love to talk to people like him, but like, for me to approach someone like him and be like, yo, dude, like, I do something a little bit different in this city. Like, I'm sure he hears that shit all the time. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? So it's understandable, but that's cool.
Especially
that,
Pittsburgh related too.
Absolutely.
That's
dude.
like I love. Yeah, like that. That's what's cool. Like makes it definitely a little more real.
It's definitely something dope that you got going on down there. I would have invited Chase on here, but I don't talk to more than one person at a time.
He knows that, dude. Like whenever someone's commented on your story and was like Zed and Chase, like he know. I mean, it's not like we'd just be like Step Brothers interview style.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's just like I never talk to anyone at like I'm working on Mikey and Big Bob, and it's gonna be fucked up to try to talk.
That'll be funny though. You just gotta roll with that one.
See, like that's the thing. I'm gonna approach them and be like, "Yo, dude, like I talk to people separately. Like I'll come to your fucking houses. I'll do whatever you want me to do, but we need to have it separately because people know them and together. Like I want to know their fucking lives apart.
True. No, you're right. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm like my goal with this is to really understand how you got to where you came and all the shit that you had to deal with along the way. And it's dope. You got a dope story. I think that you're doing some pretty cool shit, and I think that the city is reciprocating your hard work. I think you could probably tell that people fuck with you. And
I hope, man.
it's dope. What's your next move with all this?
So I'm currently kind of working on the vision in its entirety as far as the barber, like the Zeds logo is a barber.
A pole. Yeah.
And what it is now, you really wouldn't think that. You know what I mean? It's really now it's pretty much fully. I stopped cutting hair. I had the hair cutting there because I didn't know if the business was gonna work.
Yeah,
I
it's just
truly, genuinely
a side way to
didn't
make
know
a
what
couple
people
bucks.
would think. Yeah, so I was like, all right, well, if I can't make rent, at least I can cut hair. Like I know that.
Yeah.
And now, after a year, I've thought about how to expand, and I was thinking about, what's next door. But it just so happened, like, I don't know. A lot of the time, dude, I never overthink stuff, and I kind of just like, just do it. Be as rational and try to like calculate my risks.
Yeah.
But just do it though. Like, and there was an office above me that did acupuncture, and like, unfortunately, the dude passed away a few months ago.
R.I.P.
Right. And he was a good dude, good neighbor, like literally right above the store.
Yeah.
And it was sudden. But when that happened, the space opened up, and my landlord came to me seeing, that things were going well.
Yeah.
And I had mentioned to him before that I wanted to expand. I want the barbershop to be completely separate. I tried it out in the store, and I want to maximize the store. Like, there's going to be another rack where that is, and another counter.
People are also buying fucking clothing, and I'm sure that like the thought of hair
isn't the best. Yeah,
it's
like
probably
right
a
then
little
and there.
bit different.
It's far away.
I get it. It's far away, but I'm
like,
sure that it's still like a thought.
It's like, what? Yeah, and no one's really done that. I went to a barber shop in Florida in like 2015 or 14 on spring break.
Yeah.
And I like took a picture of it and like was like, yo, this is crazy. Like you go in there, there's a pool table, you can get a drink, and then in the back there's chairs. I was like, I want to do something that mixes things.
That's true. That's a good point.
Like I think why not? Like, and then as I started working in barbershops, people would just wait. And a lot of the time people getting their haircut give some sort of fuck about like what they're wearing too.
Yeah.
You know, so that's, and then doing it in my basement, it was super compact. As far as hair being with clothes, I had my barber chair and the racks right around it.
Yeah.
So tried that out, and people would get their hair cut, look around, they're like, oh shit, like as I'm cutting their hair, you know, like look at that.
That's a dope point. I never thought about that.
So that was the thought, but then realistically, after being in business for a year, I was like, I know I need to keep it separate.
Yeah.
So when the upstairs popped up, and there's some other hoops I'm jumping through as far as the city and zoning and historical guidelines and all that stuff. But I will be, I'm painting the upstairs already. I'm already paying rent. But now I'm just kind of tying it all together.
That's dope.
Setting up the barbershop up there. I have 2 chairs right now. I want to have like 4 chairs. And then use that space. What I'm really most excited about too is like having more space in the store.
Yeah.
I'm building another sneaker wall, another rack, another counter. So
more room to grow.
Be coming in the next like 2 months. And then the barber shop, I'm just shooting. I don't want to put a deadline on myself because I know it's just going to stress me out.
For sure.
So I'm just kind of taking my time.
Yeah, let it be how it is.
Yeah. Just kind of like making sure I make like
the right choices.
Yeah. Not rushing into anything.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'm excited to see how it goes.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, nothing to it but to do it.
It's going to be, it's interesting, dude. It's interesting to grow some shit that you're doing yourself. All right, dude. So the last segment I do with this podcast, I do a segment with all my guests. It's called Desert Island Questions. So Desert Island Questions, I ask all my guests. I give them 3 categories and 3 choices for each category to take with them on a desert island. So the first category is things to watch. You could take whatever you want to watch on a desert island. VHS, whole series, whatever you want, whole TV show, like anything. 3 choices.
Damn, that's heavy. And it's got to be watch.
Well, no, well, there's 3 choices.
I would probably bring a Nintendo Switch. I love like if you walk in my store, there's an N64.
Yeah.
My brother and I at our house, Chase and I live together.
Yeah.
But we have a Switch there, and we. Like at the end of the night, if we're letting loose, like when we get home from work, kind of decompressing, we play Smash Brothers.
Yeah. I've always got shit on in that.
And I love, dude, I got good in college, so that's what made me like it.
Now, do you read at all?
Not really.
Okay, so
not like physical.
So so I usually ask people 3 movies or 3 things to watch.
Yeah.
I ask them 3 books, but my consolation for books, because not a lot of people read, is video games and shit.
Okay.
So cool. you got to go with things to watch.
Okay, watch. Like I said, I mentioned I love Austin Powers.
Yeah.
That to me, like Gold Member came at a time where I like it kind of shaped my humor and like then just the series as a whole. As I got older, like I'd watch it when I was younger and think it was hilarious, and then when I went back to it when I actually understood things when I was like 19, 20, it was even funnier.
It's even funnier.
And like I don't know, I came up on like 2000, like early 2000s, like 8th grade. I think I saw Pineapple Express, and it was one of the best movies.
Yeah,
and,
unreal.
Like Superbad. Like I said, sense. I don't like serious shit. Yeah, like I don't know what it is. I'm a scaredy cat too. Like my family likes scary movies, but I never, like my mom knows it and like she'll still make fun of me and shit.
I fuck with scary movies.
Dude, I see that, dude. I'm looking at this wall and it's scaring me for real.
I fuck with scary movies. That's my lane is all the
hopefully that
shit.
like answered that.
Yeah, you got 3 choices right there. Cool. You said Step Brothers or not, you said Superbad, Pineapple Express, and
like Austin Powers trilogy. Trilogy.
I'll give you all of them.
All right, weird.
Okay, those are
that's fair.
Those are 3 hilarious movies. You cannot beat Superbad, Pineapple Express. It's like I love Austin Powers, but I would not take that from me. I would take something like I don't know. There's so many.
I feel like
there's so many funny movies.
Yeah, you're right.
But I mean, I get it.
I like can't be in a bad mood if I see it.
Yeah,
I mean that's.
I get what you're saying. Now, second category is, we're not going to do books. We'll do video games. So pick 3 video games.
Okay. Honestly, as much as I said I like the Switch,
Yeah.
I'm an OG guy.
Yeah,
like on
N64 all day.
Smash Bros.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I'll stay with the Switch. Crash Bandicoot.
That's all day too.
That's more of like just a lounging, like
Yeah, that's fun though.
fun.
That's so fun.
Smash Bros. A little more tactical. Like not everyone can play Smash Bros.
Yeah.
But Mario Kart, I'd take Mario Kart. Everyone like that's something that almost anyone can like.
Those are 3
not
choices.
Nearly be like the best at.
Yeah, but still
I'm not
compete.
yeah, but like still you can hop
compete.
in, yeah.
Once one round, you're
Like
you're,
if
you're in it
if
a
Chase and
little
I
bit.
are chilling and our girls are with us, like
Yeah.
we don't hop on and play Smash and just start whooping them.
Yeah,
you know
what I mean?
we
Like,
play kart.
fuck you, Jigglypuff. That's hilarious. Okay, so those are good choices. You said Bandicoot, you said Smash, and you said Mario Kart. Those are 3 choices.
I'm just a grown ass kid, I guess is what this
Those
is all
aren't bad.
saying.
I mean, those aren't bad choices. I was trying to think of what I would pick for video games. It would probably be GoldenEye.
Hell yeah.
It would probably be GoldenEye. It would probably
Right.
be 1080 snowboarding.
Dude, I was gonna say that.
And
I was gonna say 1080 to be honest.
it was like GoldenEye, 1080 snowboarding, and it would have to be Tony Hawk.
Dude, true.
Like,
Shit, the
it would have to be
soundtrack
for me.
too on that was
Oh, yeah.
like Dell the Funky Summer, Homo
Goldfinger.
Sapien.
Yeah. So many good shit. It was dope. Dell was in mid 90s. I was
Yeah.
pumped about that.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so the third category is things to listen to. So you could take, I mean, you have to get specific though.
Right.
CDs, you can do greatest hits if you want, but like,
Yeah. Okay. That's heavy.
it's a hard question.
Okay. That is tough.
Oh yeah, it's tough.
Couple Mac albums though, to be honest.
Yeah,
I felt like he's always been my favorite artist. I don't know, just being like I've just relatable. And
Yeah.
Every album he came out with, I was kind of doing
growing
some
up in
similar
that
shit,
time.
like Faces. I was like on my not giving a fuck and
Delinquent
just doing
shit.
whatever. Yeah, so I really felt like that. I mean, Good AM though was like major. Good AM and now Swimming was
Yeah,
one
swimming is unreal.
Good AM and Swimming. I'll say if I can pair those.
Yeah, I'll give you Max whole discography.
Okay, word definitely. I'll say that like College Dropout was kind of game changing for me.
Yeah,
My
for
mom-
sure.
It was parental advisory, and I was probably 10 or 11, and my mom bought it for me and my brothers, and that was like a game changer. I was this like the whole sampling, just
Yeah,
his
yeah.
style,
Absolutely.
was like, and just seeing.
I definitely like the old Kanye more than the new shit.
Oh, dude, I don't really listen to a whole lot.
I
of
loved
new
the
shit.
last thing he came out with that I loved. I did like a lot of the Life of Pablo. I did like a
Solid.
lot of it, but
It's not the same.
yeah, he's hit or miss for me. But Family Business,
Yeah, dude, that hits home.
Family Business Through
I've
the
had some
Wire.
family locked up. And that's,
my
yeah, it hit
God.
home, dude. I mean, Last Call is. I'll listen to the whole
It's unreal.
outro, like where he's just talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like We Don't Care.
Oh yeah.
But and then like I said, Jay-Z, like Reasonable Doubt and the Black Album. Reasonable Doubt for me is like I really love that because that's like young Jay-Z. Like
Yeah.
hustling as Jay-Z. In
I hated on
1996.
Someone said that someone on here was like, Jay-Z's the best rapper of all time. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
I wouldn't say best rapper.
He ain't the best rapper. He's
Great
great.
businessman,
He's
you know,
great,
like,
and he's a
everything,
great businessman.
yeah.
Great, but he ain't the best
No, I
rapper
wouldn't say the
alive.
best
Come
ever,
on
yeah,
now.
that's hard.
You're out
I've
of
never,
pocket
like, said
for
that.
saying
Yeah,
that.
I like
out of
so many
pocket.
artists. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I was like, he ain't the best rapper of all time. I don't
Yeah.
know who is right now, but it definitely ain't Jay-Z.
No, and I mean, he's created a lot of opportunities
Hey,
for great
goes
rappers
hard.
too.
I don't fault him
Yeah.
for that. He's a great person, but he ain't the best of all time. I'll stand
Yeah.
by it.
I would stick to like early Jay though, like not like Black Album super early, but like
Yeah.
Reasonable Doubt and Black Album. Damn, I can't even. I love A Tribe Called Quest too.
Yeah,
Marauders is
for
one of
sure.
my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah. That's a good choice. I'll give you that one
dude,
too.
I love music so much I couldn't narrow it down. Like,
Yeah, to
listen
pick 3.
That's one of my favorite things about the store is like
Just listen to good shit all day.
we pick what we want. My brother and I like literally handpick all the music. Like we kind of switch off from like our SoundClouds and our iTunes, and like we have a Sonos where both of us are connected, and then we also always have something on the TV that's nostalgic, like from Hulu or Netflix. Like Hulu is the plug for old Nickelodeon stuff.
Oh yeah,
like Hey Arnold, Doug, Rugrats.
What was your favorite out of all that?
That's a tough question. Different stages of my life.
What about 3? If you had to pick 3.
3 Nickelodeon shows?
Yeah, 3 Nickelodeon shows.
That's tough.
If I had to pick mine, I think it would probably be I fucked with Rocket Power heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I fucked with Rocket Power heavy. I loved Doug and I loved Hey Arnold.
Doug's the shit, dude. I watch Doug now.
It's weird now.
Like I said, I don't watch a whole lot of TV, but those are like 20-minute episodes that I can actually watch an entire episode.
It's weird now to me. Like I try to watch Hey Arnold and shit now, and it's like it's good, but I'm just like
just some kid shit, I guess.
Yeah,
it's
just
not the same.
It's not the same. I've always been into like movies and shit though. So like I like never was in that like Cartoon Network or anything. Like my shit ended.
Codename Kids Next Door is my shit.
What is it?
Codename Kids Next Door.
That's Cartoon Network.
Yeah,
I was never into anything. Dexter's Laboratory, anything.
Yeah. Dude, they
never
were like
watched
these kids who were like agents that had a treehouse, and they just did the wildest shit. But
I respect it.
Nickelodeon, I'll say like when I was younger, loved Rugrats.
Oh yeah.
Looking back on it, Tommy Pickle is a G. Like that's like mad life lessons from that dude.
I loved Rugrats
like, he's a
for
real
sure.
Leader.
I loved Rugrats.
And then like Rocket Power, Hey Arnold. I'll say Rocket Power.
Yeah.
Then honestly, when I was like still watching Nickelodeon, probably like 4th, 5th grade, and then like 5th, 6th grade, it's like fucking Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Well, SpongeBob's the GOAT. SpongeBob is the GOAT.
I like the beginning of it. I phased out of it.
True,
early.
you couldn't keep up with everything.
Yeah, my wife is all about it, and she always like making these references, and I'm like, I only know like I only know the beginning of it.
Yeah, that's funny as hell. Yeah, but when I was like 4th, 5th, 6th grade, like I thought Drake and Josh was the shit.
See, I never watched that at all.
Drake and Josh was cool.
You ever see a movie called The Whackness?
You were definitely like their age or a little closer to their age because I was like 10, 11 and they were like supposed to be like 16.
Yeah, I was a little bit
that
older.
I thought was cool as fuck. Like
For
if
sure.
I was like, that's where those 2 years really makes the difference. Like if I was like 13 or 14 at the time, I would have been like, fuck
like
that.
how you were saying like
you were already skating. I didn't start skating till like right after my Drake and Josh phase.
Well, like whenever you were saying it stuck out to me earlier when we were talking about, you were saying like you phased out of like MySpace into like the end of middle school. It's like my high school was MySpace and then college was Facebook. So I was like that 3 years was like that like shift.
Yeah.
But
dude, I can't remember which interview it was, but when you were talking about, I think it might have been Chance's MySpace songs.
Oh yeah.
Cool as shit. Like that
set the
MySpace
mood for anyone.
Music was like, that's how I first found Wiz. And I felt like in Indiana, I kind of put everyone on to, I was just into finding like digging for music and then like putting people on. Like,
my boy B Matty,
he's been through a few times.
Yeah, he comes through all the time. That dude was the gatekeeper of all the dope shit. Skating, music, everything dope like that.
Hell yeah.
He was always the one to expose me to dope shit. He was the first dude with ice creams that I knew. Like he was the reason that I got him. He always put me on the cool ass shit.
Dude, someone's got, I felt like
got to be someone to do it.
Right.
Got to be someone to do it.
And it's a collective thing. Like some of your homies are into this
Absolutely.
shit. Like my homies would
It's
put
all
me on
shared
this
together.
shit.
It's all meeting at the round
dude.
table.
Like it's still like that. Like I don't have as much time to look for music, but like, I mean, the homie I love having Top Gun around because he
puts you on all the new shit.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily listen to, I don't listen to a whole lot of the new stuff.
But hit or miss.
When I'm in the mood though.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm trapped and when I'm really like just.
Yeah, and you're just bouncing up and down. And you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I fuck
but
with
I
that.
definitely like my introspective type of music as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So second to last question. I'm curious about this. Death row meal. So you get to pick whatever you want to eat from wherever you want to eat, as much as you want to eat. I'm curious though, because you're a person that's down Southside all the time.
Yeah.
So like, what is some of your
Southside?
shit down there?
Southside move, dude. Pub Chip Shop slept on.
Yeah, Pub Chip Shop is fire.
Pub Chip Shop. It's really close. I mean, I gotta shout out Benny's. I will say I overdid it really quickly. Like, I
you
ate
probably
way
beat
too
it to
much
death.
Big ass pizza.
You probably beat it to
And he's like
death.
the homie. Like when I first like was down there by myself, and like they knew I was the only one doing it, and I was like, even before I opened, I was there like painting the place and doing, you know, all the back end work, and I would stop over to Benny's and like chop it up and eat a piece.
Yeah,
of
for
pizza by
sure.
myself. But I love the top boxes from Pub Chip Shop.
Top boxes.
Unreal.
I don't know if I had one.
So I get the buffalo chicken. I love.
Is that the
buffalo
one with
chicken.
like the potato pancake almost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
it's got like a potato, like a hash brown potato pancake type thing.
They call it a boxty at the fucking Piper's Pub.
Right. Piper's Pub's a little weird. I sat down there and felt like I was in like fucking England or something.
Yeah, it's because boys are in there at 7 a.m. going, fuck yeah, watching soccer.
I was there for a soccer game. Yeah, dude.
Dude.
I think I went at the wrong time.
I went in there one day at like, I think at 8 a.m. Mark Madden was just sitting at the bar just watching this soccer game.
Wow.
Miserable
That's
as fuck.
funny as
Miserable. What about Streets on Carson?
dude, I need to go there.
Yeah, like I was going to say, like if you
I've
haven't
had
been
a couple
down there
homies
yet,
that come through,
bro,
and
I promise you.
I follow them.
I promise you. That's
that
a hike
down
down
there is low key like a hike. Like it's on the strip.
I didn't think about that. That's a
Like
hike for you
it's
guys.
low key a hike. So we usually kind of stick to like.
You like food? You're not picky eater? If you like food, you just try their shit. And I promise you. Then you hit me up and you say, bro, I'm
You
telling
put me
you.
on.
I'm telling you. And they fucking sponsor my podcast because
Oh, word?
I was such a fan of the food
Yeah.
that like I gassed them up.
Word.
Because like that place is, once
Yeah.
people go there,
Well, dude,
they're-
honestly, I will say that this is probably the nail in the coffin as to like I'm about to start eating there.
Good.
Like I've heard so many things and so many good things, and like I said, I follow their Instagram.
Tell them the
I
podcast
see the
sent
shit
you.
that they post.
Yeah,
But
tell them I sent you. They're
I
gonna
will
fucking
say
hook you up.
eating has become like something that I squeeze into my schedule.
Yeah, it does
It
suck.
sucks. Like
I know.
and my brother and I, you know, for money purposes and just health reasons,
Yeah.
we've been like packing a lot of like salads,
Makes sense.
shit like that.
Makes sense. Understandable.
Throwing strawberries and cashews and fucking balsamic and just chicken and just shaking it up and like just not having to leave.
I respect that.
But and I mean, but I will say a bulk of like we haven't really left the block. Like we'll do like
You can take your girls down
Lynn's
there.
Columbia spot.
Like that's the only place that you're gonna have a nice dinner, like where you could sit down and still be listening to fucking "Give Me the Loot" bumping
All right,
through the
dude,
speakers.
well, that's what.
and then it just switches to like some Stevie Nicks, and it's just
Dude,
like
I know like everywhere to give me the loot.
that's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
That beat is crazy.
That's
bro.
my favorite. Biggie Smalls is my shit.
Yeah, no,
But,
me too, dude. I have like I said, I have every album on my
I
parents.
respect that.
My parents' Mac computer in Indiana still is loaded with like 5,000
it's so
hip-hop
good.
songs.
It's so good. Biggie Smalls, you can't beat it. Just like Streets on Carson.
Word.
You're going there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's, but I will say just like to justify it, us like even going to 12th Street is like just going out the way type of shit.
Yeah, I
what
mean-
street are they on?
They're on the 11th block,
Okay, word.
so it's like right past Dose.
Yeah,
But like, it's worth that extra block walk.
no, for sure.
I'll make a deal with you. If you go down there and you don't like your food, I will pay you.
Dude, that's not why. And
I know,
yeah,
but I'm just saying, just go down there and just give it a try. But okay, so the second to last, or the last question that I ask everyone is, if you could have a conversation with anyone, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
I was not ready for that.
I know, no one is. You gotta take your time if you want. A lot of people think of a loved one, but like, if you do pick a loved one, I want you to pick someone that you're not related to or anything.
Okay.
You know, like my question, mine is my grandfather. Like I would do anything to talk to him, but like
Yeah.
everyone's gonna pick their fucking loved one almost.
Right.
I want to know some people that like mean some shit to you.
Yeah. That's really tough.
Oh yeah.
Because like I mean, yeah, now instinct I would say like I did never get to meet my my dad's dad.
Yeah.
Passed away like right before all of us were born.
So there you go. That's your loved one.
Right, I know. So let me keep thinking, because this is like, you know, gotta ponder on that.
Go ahead, take a second. I'll cut out any
It's like a
downtime.
serious question.
It's serious as fuck. People are gonna judge your business, dude. By the way you answer this, people ain't gonna fuck. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Feels kind of weird to say because like I know I have direct people that I'm friends with at this point.
Yeah.
Who spent a lot of time with Mac and know him. I never got to meet him.
Yeah. I've said it on here. It would
I
be
just
incredible to
feel
talk to.
like he went through so much, like as far as coming up and becoming massively famous, and
Absolutely.
and all that shit doesn't even matter, is what I've like realized. Like he was just a dude doing what he loves, making music, and that shit was like baggage.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's a good answer, dude. I've said it on here before. Like he would be incredible to talk to. Like I'll listen to fucking Swimming and. You know, like
he seems like through his music,
he was
like
just different in a certain way.
Relatable dude. And just being someone who grew up in the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah, he would have cool things to talk about. You'd be able to relate to shit. Right. It would be dope for sure.
And just, it kind of puts into perspective, like, just like we said earlier, like everyone's just a normal person.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
End of the day.
Absolutely. That's a good answer.
And I really, dude, man, when that shit happened, I was like,
yeah, it's fucked up. He put out that fucking album and everyone's just like, damn, like Swimming is dope.
Today, yeah, and then
2009 is like, that's probably my favorite song by him now. It used to be like, I used to love all different kinds of shit, and like I still do, but I think 2009 is like,
that shit hits home, and that Tiny Desk performance is like
unreal.
But yeah, no, I mean, I would have ideally, like, if he was ever in Pittsburgh and would have stopped by, like,
yeah, it's a moment.
And I know that, like, you know, I don't know, it's kind of hard. Yeah, like, what if, you know, I don't know, but that's and it's weird because I know people that were directly touched by that, and I feel for them so much. And but I mean, that's definitely someone I would have like loved to meet, or like number one person I would have loved to like walk through the door at my store and
absolutely
chop it up. But
that's a good
I
didn't
know if that was too like even like a too soon type of thing, but and I never really recognized that he was like my favorite artist probably ever.
Well, it's because he was always just...
It was so consistent.
Yeah, it was always just so consistent. It's just like it's like you never realize how much something means to you until it's gone.
Right.
And like...
That's a sad thing.
Yeah, it is. It's sad as fuck, dude, because he was always just putting out shit that consistently grew with us.
Right.
All right, dude. Well, I appreciate you coming on here very much and like kind of explaining to me
we
where...
just chilled, man. It was cool. That's all it was.
It's a good time.
I was cozy in here.
It's a good time. I'm glad to hear that.
Hopefully it went well. I kind of...
No, dude. This went better than it could have ever been.
All right, we're cool.
I'm very excited about it. Now, take a second. Promote anything you want to promote.
Shit. Well, at this point, if you don't know, you can catch me down the south side.
Yeah.
Slanging vintage clothing, rare things.
What's the address?
1931 East Carson Street. It's
Shop
pretty
Zeds.
much on 20th and East Carson.
You're right next to One Up.
Right next to One Up.
Everyone knows where One Up is. It's right to the right. You'll see.
It's a block party. You can grab a slice of Benny's or something on the way out too. But that's I guess pretty much. Check out my Instagram, Shop Zeds. I'm on there actively. It's like literally a mission. Every day I get in the store to just post as much fire content as I can. Yeah. Or at least what I think is fire content for everyone.
For sure.
I just got my website cracking. I'll be announcing that very shortly. The upstairs barbershop is in the works, but there's not an exact date on that. But yeah, that's it. Every day but Monday, you can find me down in the south side, 1931 East Carson Street.
Fuck with Shop Zeds.
Post it up. Gang.
All right. Everyone that's listening, I appreciate it as usual. I'll call you right back.com. You cop a shirt, cop some stickers, a pin, whatever the fuck you want. Email me who you'd like me to have on here. I've been getting some emails. I'm happy to see some feedback from people. I'll call you right back at gmail.com. Let me know who you'd like on here. Call me a piece of shit, whatever you want. Just give me some feedback. But I appreciate everyone listening, and I'll call you right back.